And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the channel in general, go ahead and give me that thumbs up on the video. Share the video, do all that good stuff for me. That'll help me out tremendously. And I thank y'all in advance for that. There's a whole lot of things going on all over the internets, all over these social media streets. There's a whole lot going on. Black Lives Matter murals, so-called murals, paint on the ground, getting so-called desecrated. It needs to be removed. Now, in New York, shout out to Beverly Beatty. She's out there leading the charge, tearing them up, throwing the black paint on it. And there have been many others that are doing the same thing, throwing the blue paint, white paint, whatever they can to get rid of that message. And you know what the message is. It's not even about black people. This is long since stopped being about black people. This is not even the race thing. This is purely a political thing. You got Bill de Blasio out there with mask on, mask off, taking photo ops in front of Trump Tower, Fifth Avenue, Manhattan, talking about we're painting this right here to oppose Donald Trump. And you got a bunch of officers guarding it 24/7. You know, this is like just an attack piece against the president, an attack piece against us. We'll talk about that and much more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for joining. You could be almost anywhere, but you're right here with me live on the show. Thank y'all again. We got a whole lot going on. Like I was saying, the Black Lives Matter murals, that's one thing that's going on. Also, the Kanye West rally in South Carolina, that was really interesting. We talk about that. The St. Louis couple charged with a felony due to, brandishing, so-called brandishing of weapons on their own property to defend themselves, which is castle doctrine. But apparently the radical prosecutor, Kimberly Gardner, thinks otherwise. Okay, this is the same person that will let you out if you want to go burn up a McDonald's or something because you think that Black Lives Matter. However, if you want to defend yourself for your own property and you're the wrong color, you're the wrong race, and you defend yourself against the wrong political ideology, then now you're going to get made an example of. And I feel like even if the couple were black, she probably would have did the same thing because of who they were defending themselves against. You could be a criminal and go out here and wreak havoc, and that's fine. They won't break you up on charges, or at least Kimberly Gardner won't, but let you go out here and defend yourself against the criminals, then that's a problem. It's really weird how that works. Also, what else we got going on? Oh, yeah, the Chicago violence. Did you guys see my video? You have a funeral get shot up, 14 people. I think the toll, not death toll, but the injury toll is rising. I saw 15 when I was doing the story. At first, it was 14 when I first started recording. Then it became 15. Then I think now it's like 16. It could be more. But at least 14 people shot out there in Chicago. Now, luckily, nobody died at this funeral, but somebody is still in critical condition. They could die. Imagine getting shot and killed at a funeral. So that's really crazy. Also, what else we got going on? There's so much going on. There were some things that I wrote down in the description box that do not fit in the actual title. Oh, the Chinese Consulate. We got to talk about the Chinese Consulate. They're out there burning documents in the courtyard. It's like, what are we really doing? Why are you burning documents? Like, what's really happening? If you're accused of being a spy network at this particular consulate, at least one or two Chinese nationals got arrested, got locked up and convicted in Houston for spying. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I mean that quite literally, quite literally in more ways than one. Okay. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And there was literal fire at the actual consulate because you're trying to hide evidence. But there's also fire as it relates to the spying allegations. It's really clear. All right, so let's get to first things first. Let's talk about Black Lives, LIES, as I like to call it, murals being wrecked all over the nation. Shout out to Beverly Beatty for doing her thing out there in New York City. Shout out to her for doing her thing, not just in Fifth Avenue or on Fifth Avenue, Manhattan, in front of Trump Tower, wrecking that so-called monument, but also in Brooklyn, Bronx, and Harlem doing the same thing. One thing that she said, Bevelin that is, on her YouTube live is that the BLM mural on the ground on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan was guarded by police. But the ones that are in the hood, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Harlem, were not guarded by any police. They're just kind of out there, because you got to ask yourself, why is only one of the so-called murals being guarded by the police? Why not more than one? I mean, if Black lives really matter, and if it's really a real thing, and you really want to protect it, and you don't want anybody to desecrate it, then why just protect one? Well, it's obvious why the one in Trump Tower is protected. It's because you want to have that be a thing that stands as a symbol. It's a political message. All of them are really political messages, but the one right there, Fifth Avenue, that'll get the most airtime. That'll be on TV. And when Bevelin went out there and threw the paint on it, they had NYC dot, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But the Department of Transportation, the road people, they came out there and fixed it. So it's like you dedicating resources, man hours, all kind of things to this basically adult chalk on the ground in front of Trump Tower. Why? It's not because Black Lives Matter. I mean, you could dedicate that same amount of energy and resources to the hood where you need it. Okay, if you want to put a Black Lives Matter sign on the ground in the hood, you want to put it in Harlem. All right, well, how about you put some officers right there that are going to protect the neighborhood rather than protecting the street sign? All right, that's what that's pretty much where I'm at with it. You can dedicate the resources where they're supposed to be rather than trying to cut the police force. And how are you going to try to cut the police force, Bill de Blasio, by $1 billion with a B US dollars? I think that's like 1/5 of their total budget, if I'm not mistaken, or very close to it, like 15 to 20% of their total budget. How are you going to try to cut the police force? At the same time, you want to dedicate more resources to a sign on the ground, to some road paint. It doesn't make any sense, But anyway, if you want to have the police guarding it, have the police guarding it in the hood where they actually need the police for other things. Because just maybe if there's a gunshot victim or right by the sign, they can get some attention, they can get protected. Just maybe that'll work that way. Maybe I'm just being an optimist and I'm just being naive, but I'm just thinking that might work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Okay. Black Lives Matter, I can't really tell. I cannot tell. Let's talk about Chicago right quick, because this one is a thing that it's kind of a pressing issue that should get talked about for sure. Okay. It should get talked about for sure. And I feel like it links to New York City. It links to Black Lives Matter. With New York City, you got Bill de Blasio out there. What is he really doing for the people? It's not even a political thing as far as hating Bill de Blasio. It's a thing of Bill de Blasio just not doing a good job, period. You go to New York, nobody likes this guy. I don't care if you black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, left, right, politically, apolitical, non-political, politically agnostic, whatever you want to define yourself as, whatever you identify as, people don't like Bill de Blasio. You could be LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You could be every letter in the alphabet, no letters in the alphabet, whatever you want. Nobody likes this guy up there. I'm not sure how he got elected, to be perfectly honest with you. What was the process for that to happen? I can tell you one thing, he probably won't get elected again. Hopefully New York City goes back to a time where they had to get Rudy Giuliani in there to get things back on track, to get some adults in the room that are actually going to make some change happen. All right. That's what I want to see for sure. Let me see. Somebody says, here's a good super chat I want to read right quick. Now, normally I read super chats at the beginning of the show, closer to where we take the calls, but I'm going to read this one and then I'm going to continue on with what I was saying. Justice Smith says, can you support BLM as a statement and not the organization? You said they're the same to you. I'm a law enforcement officer and I have to disagree with you. You can be separate. Now, I respect you for what you do, sir, for being a law enforcement officer. Hey, stay strong out there, sir. Keep doing your thing. We need more guys like you to stand up for their community. But the reason why I say they're the same is because if you are in a situation where there's terror happening and you go out there and scream Allahu Akbar, like what? How am I going to see that as any different than the people that are out there engaging in terror? Like if I'm in an active terror zone, right? I'm in the zone where terror is happening every single day, and then I'm streaking. It's the same thing, and it's hard to. It's just like if you're out there being a so-called peaceful protester, when there's always riots that happen, just like with Portland, Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, there's riots happening every night for the past 55 nights. And the mantra of all those that are out there is Black Lives Matter. So if you call yourself peaceful and you go out there and say Black Lives Matter, how are you any different? Because at the end of the day, it'd be a guy like yourself, a police officer, that has to go out there and deal with all the people that are out there one way or another. You got to protect them or arrest them or defend yourself from them. Or shield yourself from being hit with rocks and socks and everything else. Locks, whatever you got to shield yourself from. It's all the same to me. And it's a general divisiveness as well, because all I see from it, I don't see anything positive. All I see is people that are out here, if not just out there attacking people physically on the street, it's like this bullying type of thing. And if you don't support it, you're kind of othered and you're not really appreciated. It's a divisive term. And at its worst, it becomes a violent thing to do. I'm just not really with it. Okay, all lives matter. That's what we should be talking about. Everybody's lives matter. It shouldn't be this whole black versus white. And why does it need to even be a thing about a particular race mattering? Like, everybody matters, because if I said white lives matter, would that be racist? Would I be considered a coon? I mean, why would that be the case if everybody is important and each group has their own individual issues? Because right now with whites, what you have going on generally is the drug opiate crisis. That affects them more than everybody else. It affects us too, don't get it twisted. It affects the black community as well. There's a lot of black folks out there, Skid Row, LA on heroin, but different story. I digress. My whole point is that you could just look at the numbers and see that whites are more affected by the opiate crisis. But if I say in that context, white lives matter, is anybody really going to hear my nuance? Are they really going to try to understand that? Why even do that? Why have the separation? Don't say white lives matter, Asian lives matter, Hispanic. Nah, just say everybody to include everybody. It's not. Don't be divisive, and don't aid in the rhetoric of the far leftist extremists that want to damage everybody. Not just black, white, everybody in America. So that was a good question. I won't try to, be adversarial, but I wanted to answer his question. Hopefully it answered your question, sir. All right, but what else we got going on? Now, let's talk about my man, Kanye West, and his campaign rally in South Carolina. Now, Kanye. First of all, Kanye has been the same way since the beginning. Ever since, the whole thing with George Bush, does not care about black people. Ever since then, even before then, he's been the same way. I've been watching and following Kanye since Through the Wire, when he was in a car accident and he got his wire jaw shut and he was rapping while he had his jaw wired shut. I've been following him since then, ever since early Rockefeller days and the GOC consequence, ever since then, the very beginning. So, I've seen Kanye be the same. The only difference with Kanye is that he has new information. He's gotten older, but at the core of himself, he's the same person. Just like anybody that knows me knows that I'm not necessarily, I could be odd at a particular point in time, but I've always been like this. Anybody that knows me know I've always been like this. I may have been more liberal in the past. That was due to my ignorance. But as far as my core character, how I talk and all this stuff has been the same since I've been a kid. It ain't really been no difference. I feel like people are trying to say Kanye is mentally ill in order to discredit what he's saying and just not even paying him any attention. Now, I will say that he's like all over the place. He's like a sleeping truck driver. You understand? You've been on the road for like 24 hours straight with no sleep. You on Red Bulls, it ain't working. You got the windows down, AC all the way up, it ain't working. Okay, you swerving, about to run off into the off ramp, into the what's that? The runaway ramp. You about to go off in the net because you're sleeping. That's kind of how Kanye operates. He's all over the place. He'll go from one thought to the next. But at a certain point, there's moments of lucidity where it's like, hey, that makes sense. But sometimes when he's talking, it does not make sense. But he's always been like that. And ask yourself this: when's the last time you heard Kanye get on a microphone like back in the day and speak just for a very long time in front of people? You could just see how he was all the way back then. So my thing is this: if Kanye's mentally ill, then he's been like that for a long time, and it must be working because he's become, if not a billionaire, pretty close to it. So, I mean, my thing is this: I can respect him for having a different point of view, but I would never go to Kanye for my source of information and to become educated. I would just respect him as a guy that just kind of he walks to the beat of his own drum. And that's like me too. Always been like that. I'm just not as disjointed and non-focused as Kanye is. That's kind of what's going on with him. But anyway, he had a campaign rally in South Carolina. And before I get into the campaign rally, people say, oh, Kanye needs help. It's always, you always hear that about Kanye. It's been like for the past 4 or 5 years. He'll come out and say something. People will say, oh, we need help, pray for Kanye. But it's always the same pattern. And at a certain point, if you're exhibiting the same pattern of behavior, and it's been like that for the past 15 years, it's like, is that a medical condition or a personality trait? I mean, or both. I can't really tell. But anyway, so the campaign rally in South Carolina was all over the place. And then they got to the part where he said Harriet Tubman did not free the slaves. They were for other whites. I mean, that was a wild thing to say. I wouldn't have said that. But then if it was me and I was there, I would ask him to elaborate on that. I'd be like, I would challenge him on it rather than just dismissing it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I do here. If somebody calls my show and they say, hey, ABL, you're a coon and you're retarded, I'd be like, okay, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. Tell me why. I'm not just going to snap on them and hang up. I'm going to ask you why. I'm going to ask you to finish that thought and tell me why. And then I can see where you're going. And then I can challenge you. We can have a back and forth dialogue. Okay. Same thing with Kanye and the Harriet Tubman quote. I don't know why he said that, but let's ask him and see if he elaborates and see what else he has behind it. That's what I want to know. I mean, that's why I like to challenge people. I like to be able to get their full information about it. I mean, factually, just on the surface, he's wrong because she actually did free some slaves, and led actual armed insurrections. And a lot of them fled to Canada where it was no slavery. If you got to Canada, you were able to escape slavery. If you got to the North while slavery was going on, it wasn't like that because you could be returned back due to being a fugitive. And they had slavery up there too. So if you went to Canada, you pretty much home free. But if you were here, then maybe he was right. But I like to ask him what he meant by that rather than just dismissing him. Now, some things he said that were kind of crazy. He was like, if you have a baby, you get $1 million. I was like, man, come on, really $1 million? I was hearing some Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders type stuff in there, kind of like fanciful things that will never happen. But at the same time, I appreciated the fact he was talking about being anti-abortion. Okay, so if you're watching it and you heard the anti-abortion part, maybe you could take that away from it and discard everything else. Maybe you could do that. But at the end of the day, I think that Kanye has no chance, obviously, because first of all, I mean, he's way too late in the game. And he's not even going to be on the ballot. He couldn't even be on the ballot in at least 6 states or more at this point. And beyond that, I don't think he has any money raised. He does not have a real campaign platform. He'll be independent. And if you're an independent person, you have no chance of becoming the president. You could win possibly locally, but becoming the president, you have no chance. And as far as taking the black vote, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Because here's my thing. If you can, if he takes the black vote, the question I would have is, why is he taking the black vote? Being black ain't enough. And a lot of black folks I was seeing that responded to his campaign had negative comments to say. Let's look at it like this. Barack Obama was like a phenomenon, 1 in a million. He captured the hearts of Americans. And it was like something you can't really repeat. They tried to repeat it. And when I say they, quote unquote, I mean the left, the Democratic establishment, they tried to repeat it with Cory Booker. They thought Cory Booker would be Barack Obama. I'm serious. This is what I'm hearing in the streets, right? maybe even Kamala Harris, maybe even Hillary Clinton, because she's a woman, a minority, close enough to being black male. But anyway, they tried to repeat it and it didn't work. Hillary Clinton came close, but Cory Booker did not get any kind of traction. And they were putting Cory Booker out there for years, trying to make him be the runner-up, the next guy to Obama, to become the guy that would be the face in the 2020 election. And then they had Kamala Harris for backup. They probably will want Cory Booker and Kamala Harris to be president, vice president. Whether she's a president, he's a president, it didn't really matter. And they were running in this election cycle and got no traction at all. They got no attention, no traction. As a matter of fact, in South Carolina, where Kanye was, Joe Biden revitalized his dead campaign because of the black vote. At the same time, you had Kamala Harris running and Cory Booker running. So why didn't the black vote go towards the black candidates? It doesn't really work like that. So I don't think that Kanye would really capture any of the black vote. And like I said, he's way too late in the game anyway. No money, no real party platform. They don't know if he's Democrat, Republican. It just ain't going to work. Most normies out there in the world are going to vote Democrat or Republican based upon their prior beliefs. What you got to do in the election time is trying to get those that don't vote out to vote, and also trying to persuade some swing voters to vote for you rather than who they would normally vote for as far as being a Democrat or Republican. You got to convince those that are kind of into politics to vote for you. That's generally how that goes. Okay. But normies, regular people are going to vote Democrat, Republican because it's what they want to do anyway. And they don't care too much about any of your platform or whatever. That's generally how that goes. Okay. So, yeah. And he could take some of the vote, but it'd be a fraction of it. Oh, and speaking about Kanye and Kim Kardashian, I don't know what's going on with that. Kanye was talking about he wanted to divorce Kim and all kind of stuff. I don't take anything Kanye says on Twitter seriously. That could just be all him just talking. And I think Kim came on Twitter and said you need to give compassion and whatnot for Kanye. I don't think they get no divorce no time soon. They got kids and everything. They ain't getting no divorce. You know, a lot of what he was saying on Twitter, I saw that Twitter rant that he went on. It was like I said, it's the same thing that he always does. It'd be a bunch of things that don't make any sense, and some things that do kind of make sense. It was hilarious when he called Kris Jenner, you know, the madam of the Kardashians. He called her Kris Jong-un. That was just hilarious, fantastic, very well done, sir. You get a free beer for that one next time I see you, if I ever see you. Yeah, calling her Kris Jong-un. You know, having like a dictatorship, a iron fist rule over the Kardashians. That's hilarious. I wouldn't be surprised if Kris was behind this whole Caitlyn Jenner reveal. I would not be surprised at all. You know, it kind of worked out. They had like a little reality show and everything. And when I say Bruce Jenner, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like Bruce Jenner is more well known now than he was by being on the Wheaties box, which is crazy. And I feel like Kris Jong-un was behind that. But I'm just talking. I could be totally wrong. I have no idea. So it is what it is. Now, thank you all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. And if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. I'd appreciate it if you did that. And also click the bell right beside the subscribe button so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. All right, so what else we got going on here? Oh, and the couple in St. Louis, the McCloskeys, you know, they're ones that were out there protecting their home against the so-called BLM protesters, really rioters, insurrectionists. They got charged with a felony due to brandishing their firearms at the so-called protesters. Now, the prosecutor out there, Kimberly Gardner, is out of her mind. She's a total nut job, total SJW, just ridiculous. Talking about, oh, well, we can't let the rule of law just go away. We can't allow that in St. Louis. They're pointing their guns at peaceful protesters. What kind of peaceful protesters invade a private neighborhood without being asked? And when they're asked to leave, refuse to leave and threaten people and scream at them, threaten to kill them and their dog and burn their house down and all this and that and the third. How was that peaceful? Okay, there are no more peaceful protesters in this whole situation. Everybody's not peaceful. Nobody's peaceful. I've been saying it for a long time. If you out here in these so-called Black Lives Matter protests, you're not peaceful. Anybody, because it all goes towards the same thing. You're just part of the mass of bodies. Every time I see a BLM rally, it's always the same thing. It always ends in some kind of chaos, some kind of violence, some kind of disturbance that shouldn't be going on. It's always the same thing. So when I see anybody out there, I see the same thing. I don't see anything different at all. Not in the least bit. But of course, the prosecutor wants to charge a couple with a felony due to brandishing a firearm. And like I was saying earlier, this is the same person, the same prosecutor that will let you out if you burn up a McDonald's or whatever because you think that Black Lives Matter. All right. That it gave these violent felons, violent repeat offenders light sentences or no sentences. Okay, what you have in a lot of these inner cities, people talking about, oh, there's a sentencing disparity between black and white. No, it's not. If it is a disparity, it goes the other way. You're more likely to get sentenced with a longer amount of time if you're white versus being black in the inner city, at least. Now, if you out there in the countryside, it could be a little bit different because if you out there, like let's say you coming from Chicago, right, and you go to Des Moines, Iowa, and you want to engage in that criminal behavior that you were doing in Chicago and Des Moines, Iowa, it's not going to work the same way. You can pretty much do what you want in a place like Chicago and get a low amount of time in the penitentiary or jail. You might get 2-3 years, but you go to Des Moines, Iowa, they don't have that kind of crime and violence just happen out there, and they're not tolerant of it, so you're going to get more time. Versus a white guy who might be on his first offense. He could just be a dope fiend, and you are a violent criminal to get caught with drugs. You're going to get more time because you already got a record. You already somebody that's known to the police, and you don't have any money for a lawyer. So yeah, you might have a disparity out in the country where you get more time as a black person, but you go to the inner city, you getting next to no time. You getting slaps on the wrist. They're letting violent felons out of jail right now in New York City, Los Angeles, and the left coast in general. If you commit a violent offense, you're going to get a slap on the wrist. Or drug crimes are pretty much not even prosecuted. You can be a full-blown dope fiend in the middle of the daytime, smoking crack in your tent. It could be 12:30 a.m. You could be banging heroin on the street in San Fran, running in front of a little girl and not even get looked at. Matter of fact, I saw a dude get ready to bang his needle in front of the mayor of San Francisco live on TV, middle of the daytime, and nothing happened. She made eye contact with him and looked the other way. Okay, you got police right there, they do nothing. So, I mean, it's a sentencing disparity, you get more time, please. You don't have that. What you have, people not getting enough time. But anyway, I'm way off track. I'm going to just swerve back on the track. As I was saying about the St. Louis couple, the prosecutor wants to give violent felons really low amounts of time or no time, no charges. But for them, you're talking about it could be like 4 years in the penitentiary. But you know what? It's not even about trying to send them to jail. She knows that they won't nothing there will have them go to jail. What she wants them to do is plead to a felony offense, plead guilty to a felony offense, so then they can't have guns anymore. That's the first thing, because if you're a felon, no more gun rights. And also, so they can't vote. You want to strip their rights away because you don't like what they did as far as standing up to the mob. You want them to be defenseless out here so the mob can do whatever they want to them. Okay, talking about, a diversion program. A diversion program, there's no point of having them go through a diversion program or any kind of charges at all if you know they can't go to jail. Shout out to the Missouri Attorney General Schmidt for moving to dismiss the case. It should be dismissed because you're talking about a clear-cut case of castle doctrine. If I'm in front of my house and I'm getting confronted by 500 people that are threatening me, threatening to kill me, shoot me, whatever, shoot my dog, burn my house down, I have the right to defend myself. And then on top of that, the guns they had weren't even going to bust a grape in the fruit fight. The rifle that the husband had was not even loaded. Now, I got to just pause for the cause right quick because, a gun safety moment, if you're going to have a gun and you're going to kind of like brandish it or be ready to use it as far as defense, make sure it's loaded, please. Make sure it's loaded, because what happens when somebody tries to charge you, or when, you might have 5 people charge you? What are you going to do at that point? Make sure it's loaded, and make sure you don't point it at, your significant other or anybody else, unless you want to shoot them. You don't want to do that. So have trigger discipline, have your aim discipline, and make sure your gun is loaded. But the wife's gun wasn't even real. She had a fake gun. That could have been a water gun, but it was inoperable. It wasn't even the real gun. So you have an unloaded gun, a fake gun. Nobody got shot. Nobody got hurt. You're talking about jail time? Please, be for real. And shout out to the governor. I think his name is Mike Parson. He has moved to, he says he's going to pardon them if they get convicted, which is a good thing. Because even if no jail time happens and they go through he's talking about a diversion program, like I was saying, if they get a felony on their back, that means no more weapons and no more voting. So the pardon should come if they get convicted, because they got to get their rights back. And I think that Bill Barr's on that case as well. You've had senators, like, this is something that the lady, Kim Gardner, may be in some deep water, some deep trouble, because this isn't a local case of some dope boy that robbed a 7-Eleven. This is something that's gone all the way to the top, all the way to the Attorney General of the United States, all the way to the president, really, of the U.S. Talking about Trump's involved, and the governor, the Attorney General, everybody's involved. So this might be a little bit too rich for her blood. Therefore, I don't think they're going to have any problems. But to even be in this situation, having to hire a lawyer, having to go on TV and plead your case and all this, that, and the third, it just shouldn't be happening to these people, because they're defending themselves. Okay. Now, some on the left want to applaud this whole thing happening, talking about, oh, they got what they deserve, this, that, and the third. If they're allowed to charge them, lock them up, get them a felony or whatever for defending themselves, that same thing can happen to anybody else for any reason, and you don't need that. So, yeah, shout out to the McCloskeys up there in St. Louis. You guys will be fine. Don't even worry about it. You'll be good to go. Now, speaking about the Midwest, the Chicago violence, you had 14 people shot at a funeral. Now, unfortunately, this is not even really uncommon. This happens a lot. Matter of fact, the police knew that it could have happened, because apparently the guy that got shot and killed, who the funeral was for, 31-year-old dude, got shot, killed in Chicago. They were tipped off, the police that is, that there could have been a retaliatory attack at the funeral. So they had a squad car assigned to the actual funeral. Imagine that. You want to go to a funeral, and in order to go there, you got to have like heavy security, squad car, police car. But anyway, even though people at the funeral had their own guns and shot back at the shooters, even though the police were there, had a squad car assigned to the funeral, it wasn't really enough to prevent 14 shooting victims. Now, luckily, well, at least 14, it could have been, I think it might be like 15 or 16 now. Luckily, nobody has died yet. I think somebody was in critical condition, so they could die. But as of right now, nobody has died. Thank God the person had bad aim. You ain't dealing with no sharpshooter. You ain't dealing with a marksman out there. You just kind of shooting indiscriminately. And the ages of the people were like 21, 65. So you're talking about young people to like senior citizens. And it was mostly women that got shot. Out of, they said 15, 10 were women and 5 were men. So you shooting women at a funeral for what though? Old ladies and stuff like that for what? I mean, this is unfortunately not even uncommon. You see shootings at funerals. You know pretty much how it happens too. Like, let's say if you go into a funeral of somebody that was in, a gangbanger or a dope boy or something like that, there could be some things at the funeral that happen, especially if the person died from like a rival gang or a rival set, whatever they call it. There could be some funeral violence. And that's what happened here. Now, once you go to the street, the people say that they want the police. They need more police. Like nobody that's from the hood, that's in the hood, that's being honest is going to say we don't need the police. Okay, people that say we don't need the police are criminals themselves, or they don't live in the actual hood where it's violence at. If it's violence and you're not out there committing it, you're just trying to hide away from it. You're not going to say we need less police. You're going to say we need more police to ensure safety, to have security. That's just a basic thing. They said that on camera in Chicago, talking about this whole thing happened at the funeral. It was a guy, it might have been his wife or somebody. They were on camera. The guy was talking about, man, we need more security. This whole thing with the pandemic is not even nowhere near as bad as the violence. You got 14 or 15 or 16 shot in one day. People dying every day. Every weekend, you got 5, 10, 15, 20 people killed in one area of Chicago, or like two areas of Chicago. And not just Chicago, but all over the country. That's happening, but you want to have less police. How does it make any sense? And then the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is the same as Bill de Blasio, trying to refuse help from the president. Now, the president says he's going to send like 200 federal agents to Chicago to help with the violence, because Chicago is already violent, right? But it had a 51% uptick in shootings from this time last year to this year. So there's a problem there. It was already an issue to begin with. Now it's a bigger problem. So he's going to send federal agents. I think the operation is called Operation Legend, because of Legend was a 4-year-old boy that got shot and killed, I think, in Kansas City, Missouri, or somewhere else. Shot, killed when he was sleeping on his bed. But anyway, they're going to send federal agents out there to Chicago to help curb the violence. Now, I know, guys, shout out to my man Marcus. Marcus, if you're listening, shout out to you, man. You had a good comment. I put your name out there. It's fine. You ain't tripping. But Marcus, that's my dog. But he's a liberal. Stomp down liberal, right? But he's from Chicago. He's from the hood. He understands what's going on. You can't just ignore reality. Don't let your politics, your partisanship blind you from reality, what's going on. Okay? You got funerals getting shot up. Old ladies getting shot up. All kind of things happening. Send the federals out there to help calm the violence. Okay? In Portland, what you have in Portland is the mayor, Ted Wheeler, and the governor and other people that are encouraging people to not help the federal agents do their job. Same thing in Chicago. Lori Lightfoot had some kind of press conference today when she was talking about, we got to be vigilant. We can't let ICE or DHS come in here and terrorize us. It's like, look, you're not going to have DHS come in and quote unquote terrorize you. That's not what's happening. You got to worry about your citizens terrorizing each other. You got to worry about the dope boys and the gangbangers out there terrorizing each other and just regular everyday people. You got to worry about that, not the people that come to help, not the cavalry. Don't shoot the cavalry coming to assist you. Okay, people understand. You go to the hood, they're going to say we need more police. Send the federals, please help us, because we're out here. We have no protection, no help. The police, they're overwhelmed. When the so-called riots, well, that's what they are, but so-called protests, aka riots, happened in Chicago, where they were looting and burning and carrying on, the police had to go down there to deal with that. And that left just the inner cities and the communities, the neighborhood people live at, left them wide open. And it was that particular weekend when that happened, it was the most shootings and killings ever in history in Chicago, like on recorded history ever, the most ever. So you obviously need more help in the city. Same thing with DC. Shout out to Benny. You know, I got family in DC, in Southeast. So where Benny was at, I recognized before because I've been to that particular area in DC. I have family that lives right there. You know, in that, I know, Minnesota Ave, Bowen, all of that. I know all about that. Benning Road. But anyway, he was out there in Southeast DC, in the hood, talking to people and asking them about, okay, do you need more police, less police? Everybody said we need more police because talking about dangerous area. Who's going to say we need less police in a dangerous area? It doesn't make no sense. Having less police in a dangerous area does not make the place more safe. It makes it more dangerous. Everybody knows that. It's like I said before, being in the war zone and you get active mortar shells flying and crashing and burning stuff up. You're not going to say, oh, we need less protection. We need less blockages from the mortars. We need more. We got to fortify ourselves more to protect ourselves and to protect innocent people. That's basic kind of common sense. But the left don't operate on common sense. They operate on whatever makes them whatever helps them the most. And what helps them the most a lot of times is what helps us the least. It's all about pushing a political narrative. You want to try to blame the so-called protests to turn into riots on Trump. How was it Trump's fault? In Portland, Oregon, you had 50 days of continued riots every single night, every night until Trump came in with the federals. How are you going to blame him for that? It makes no sense at all. It's like if there was a war happening in a particular place and then a foreign nation comes in and try and help one side or the other, you can't blame the foreign nation. The war already been going on a year, 2 years, 3 years. You can't blame Johnny come lately. You got to blame a situation for what it is. And in Portland, Oregon, Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., blame local leadership. Okay, you got Muriel Bowser out there in D.C. painting Black Lives Matter on 16th Street right in front of the White House. How about you go to Minnesota Ave? How about you go somewhere up northwest or northeast? Don't go like northwest where the White House. Go northeast, go southeast, go out there and do it there. Don't do it where everything is nice and is fine in a tourist location. If you go to DC as a tourist, you don't go to southeast. You're not gonna go to the little off the grid areas. You're gonna stay right there by all the the Capitol, the monuments. You're gonna stay right there in a little perimeter and nowhere else. Okay, that's pretty much how that goes. But thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe right now and click the bell as well, because when you do that, you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. All righty, what else we got going on? Oh, the Chinese Consulate out there in Houston, Texas. Now, I'm glad they're closing this consulate. It had been long seen as a spy hub. I think we pretty much know what's going on right now with China. They spy. And what they're spying on is things that we do over here, infrastructure and stuff like that, so they can copy it over in China. They're very well known for intellectual property theft. And that goes deeper than just, beauty supply products. You're talking about they stole energy stuff from us, because Houston, you got to understand, this is a big energy hub. A lot of gas and stuff like that comes through there. So they were stealing like sensitive industrial energy plans and that type of information. They stole that. They're stealing all kind of technology, and they're giving us technology that we use every day to steal more things from us. They're trying to ban TikTok, which is a good thing, because if you're a Chinese company and you operate at all, you are in bed with the Chinese Communist Party. So, example, TikTok collects data, right? That's the whole purpose of the app. It's a free app. Everybody uses it. They collect data. That's how they sell you on things. They collect data and sell stuff to you. But if TikTok is gathering data, where's data going? It's going straight to the Chinese Communist Party. I'm talking about directly to them without patch and go. Now, maybe it'd go from China as far as the government to other places to do like regular corporate things with. But the Chinese Communist Party gets first dibs on that data. That's how that goes. So it makes sense to ban TikTok. It makes sense to ban all these Chinese things that we get. But it's much deeper than TikTok and stuff like that, because we get a lot of our products manufactured in China. I mean, they want to ban Huawei. That's fine. But the same places that make Huawei phones also make iPhone, Samsung, everything. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. They make all the phones. There's no phones made in the United States at all, or assembled at least. Everything is assembled over in China in some sweatshop somewhere, probably by a Uyghur or something like that. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyway, everything's made over there, or at least assembled over there. So how do we know they're not bugging our regular phones? We got to get more independent away from China. But that's going to be kind of a lofty goal. But we can do right now without some of the spying that's going on, and expel those that are spying, and or lock them up, put them in the penitentiary for spying on us, for selling stuff from us. I think it was 2 guys that already got locked up, or at least accused of spying here in the States, that were based in Houston. So this consulate was nothing more than a big spy operation. And it was a guy that was there burning up documents. Why burning documents, sir? And he was outside doing it. So it's like, you're not hiding. You're You can't just shred it because it's not good enough to get rid of evidence, because it could be reassembled, or bleach, same thing. You can still see what's going on with it, so they had to burn it. Now, they probably had paper records because they did not want to have a digital trail. They wanted to have everything on paper just to make sure that you couldn't find it, you couldn't hack it, everything's on paper. And they burned that right up. So it's no surprise that just, a few hours later, we say, all right, you got 72 hours, time to go. You're engaging in spy stuff. You're burning up evidence. Obviously, you have to go right now. They're going to retaliate. Now, is Samsung South Korea? Now, is Samsung a South Korean company, but where are the phones manufactured? Where are the phones assembled? I'm not really sure. Is there a Samsung actual factory where they make the phones? You see what I'm saying? Just like Apple is a U.S. company, but the phones are assembled over in China with Foxconn, like 1 million employees. But anyway, speaking about China, they spy. That's what they do. We all know about it. And you can't see them as some kind of benevolent thing. Nah, they're trying to take us over. They're trying to become the next United States. That's the objective. And they're going to go about it by however they can, and this whole thing with the virus, you got to ask yourself about that too. Like, what's going on with this virus? A basic question I had in my most recent video I did today was, okay, if China knew the virus was out there from Wuhan, it was killing people, they dropping dead, like, video game type stuff, spitting up blood, all this, that, and the third. If they shut off travel from Wuhan, the center of the virus, from the whole Hubei province in general, you couldn't get into Hubei province at all. Like, it was totally shut down from anywhere else in China. Like, you couldn't go to Beijing, Shanghai from Wuhan at all. But at the same time they shut inner China travel down, they allow intercontinental flights to leave. So it's like, okay, if you know that there's a virus going on and you want to stop the spread in your own country, why are you giving it to us? The easiest way for a virus to spread through an airplane, and that's how it spread, through planes. And now the whole world dealing with it. We didn't spend $6 trillion, talking about spending like another $1 trillion in this so-called relief and whatnot. I mean, so was that a bioweapon? What's going on? I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I don't have the answer to the question. I'm just putting the question out there, because if they intentionally allow international flights to happen, why did they do that? Why did they do that at the same time they cut off inter-country travel? Makes you think a little bit about what their intentions were. I'm just trying to figure it out, what's really going on. So there's a war going on with China. You call it a Cold War, a hot war, lukewarm war, whatever you want to call it. It's a war going on right now. All right. And are we losing? Are we winning? Are we getting any ground? I don't really know. But it's clear what's going on. Oh, yes, exactly, Laura. Fentanyl, it comes from China as well. A lot of the drugs that happen to be in the nation come from China. The number 2 illegal alien group are Chinese people. Fun fact, you didn't know that. When you go to the southern border, there's like these little signs, these little rescue signs. If you've been out there in the desert, it's hot, you ain't had no water, you about to die, you push a little button in the desert and help will come to you. You might get sent back to where you came from. You might get sent some water or something. But anyway, help will come to you. The sign is written in Spanish, of course, obviously, in English, and also Mandarin Chinese. Why Mandarin? Because they're coming in droves illegally through the southern border. How do we know that they didn't come through the border with the virus? I mean, there's all kinds of things going on, but a lot of the drugs are coming through these people from the southern border as well. A lot of fentanyl, a lot of just basic heroin, black tar, a lot of methamphetamine comes from them as well. And they also ship us drugs. So it's really just deeper than what it may appear on the surface. It's really deep. They're trying to kill us with drugs, the virus. They're spying on us, trying to steal stuff from us, it's really deep. So, yeah, close that consulate, let it go, and also keep an eye on Chinese products in general. We got to get more, American manufacturing, American-based things. Don't spend so much money, get into debt, because China owns a lot of our debt, and we don't want to be indebted to the Chinese Communist Party at all. At all. Hey, you know what? It's funny how all these NBA guys super woke, right? Like Mark Cuban. I think Ted Cruz was speaking to he retweeted Mark Cuban about the whole anthem thing because I guess Mark Cuban might be in favor of anthem kneeling if guys want to kneel for the anthem, and Ted Cruz was against it, and then Mark Cuban wanted to kind of kick back and say, "Oh, talk to me, I'm a man, to me right here." He was like, "All right, well, how you feel about China? Crickets, total crickets." They talk all they want about the United States, how racist it is, how evil it is, all this, that, and the third. Kneeling for the anthem, but when they go to China, ain't gonna be no anthem kneeling, ain't gonna be no talking about how bad China is. That's not gonna happen because there's too much money to be lost. Because China can just say, you know what, we're gonna ban the NBA. They don't care. What's the people of the country gonna do? They can't do nothing because it's one party rule. It's a communist. What are you gonna do if you're a citizen of China and they say, okay, no NBA basketball? You just gotta take it. So they don't really even care. So the NBA will acquiesce to whatever China wants because they're trying to get that money. They don't care. All this about Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, I'm an ally, is bogus. They don't really truly care. If they did, they'd be more critical of China. And what they're doing with this whole Uyghur situation, you got actual people in concentration camps right now. You got them literally on videotape boarding the train to a concentration camp right now in 2020 right now, going to a camp, boarding a train. We're kind of like repeating history here with Nazi Germany, board the train, go here, go there. It's the same thing going on, but the NBA turned a blind eye. I don't see it. I don't know what's going on, whatever's happening. Whatever. I'm getting this money. So what? That's pretty much what's going on right now. Yep. Oh, the crickets are so loud right now with this whole thing about the NBA in China. So, hey, the politics are going to be really dirty because of what's happening with Trump. People on the left and the right did not want Trump to win because he's going against the grain. That's why you got these so-called Republicans, conservatives talking about they're going to vote Biden. How does it make sense to vote for Joe Biden? I mean, what do we even think? First of all, Joe Biden is halfway dead anyway. He's got one foot in the grave. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just saying this man is about dead. He's about out of it. If he had a gas tank, it'd be on E, flashing, telling you to pull over right now and fill up at the next station. You got 2 miles left, sir, and you're going about 100 miles an hour straight to the bottom. You have no time left at all. It's about to be a wrap for you really, really soon here, okay? It's going to be curtains closed, lights out, end the story. It's a wrap. Anyway, how you going to support Joe Biden? What's his name? Kasich from Ohio, the former governor, Mitt Romney, all these numbnuts. How you going to support Joe Biden? The Lincoln Project, these self-righteous morons getting caught up in their own scandals. They got money problems. I think one guy involved one of these PACs. It wasn't Lincoln Project. It was a different one that was similar to Lincoln Project. This guy was in some kind of money laundering scheme, like $60 million. It's like, sir, you over here laundering money. Don't try to tell me that I'm wrong for voting for Trump. How about you get your legal kerfuffle tightened up rather than trying to, be some kind of moral high ground? You're not the moral high ground, sir. You're the moral low ground. Okay, I don't steal money like you do, but I digress. My whole point is that these people, they don't want Trump in there because he's anti-establishment. People could say that Trump is imperfect. Of course he's imperfect. Nobody's perfect. No, people want Trump to be like Jesus Christ. It's not going to happen, okay? He is not, we're all human beings. Trump's not perfect. But Joe Biden, really, over Trump as a Republican, it's not even about, your stance at all politically with these guys. It's about just doing whatever the deep state, the swamp wants you to do, trying to carry out their initiatives. But you got a guy in there that's not even about that, and that kind of like throws a monkey wrench in the whole situation. That's what's going on. And you got a lot of guys that are out there in Congress, big Congress and low Congress as well. They want the same thing, but they're fighting against the machine. They're fighting against this big swamp, demon that has the tentacles and everything. They're fighting against that. And they got to have Trump in there to help them fight in that fight. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going on with that. But thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. Oh, wow. Time flew. It's almost 9 o'clock. Okay. Super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick, and then I might get to the calls. So y'all just hang tight. And again, thank y'all because you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. All right. Ralph III says, how do you have a discussion with a leftist who totally hates Trump? It's hard, man. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. It's hard. But my best advice would be just talk about basic things and ask them questions. It's like, okay, how do you feel about abortion? Do you think that you should be able to kill a baby? And if so, then when? And then bring up examples of when people on the left have said up until birth or even after birth. Bring up clips. Be prepared. One thing I always say to people when they get into debates or arguments or discussions is be prepared. Have all your information ready. Have all your ducks in a row so you know what's going on. Thank you for tea. All right, got my tea on deck. So yeah, be prepared for whatever your debate is. However you're going to go about it, be ready for it before it actually happens. Have all your information ready. All right. And the next super chat, thank you to Robert Halden, who says, hi, ABL. I completed my CCW training last weekend. Congratulations, sir. Shot 30 out of 30, and I haven't shot a gun in 20 years. Maybe I should train Grandmaster J. Hey, thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Apu Bakar Al Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, favorite salty snack, peanuts, popcorn, pretzels, potato chips. Oh, peanuts all day. I have some in here, matter of fact. We go get them, but I mean, I ain't trying to get up. But I eat peanuts every day. That's what I do. It helps me just to keep myself focused and situated, regular, all of that. I like pretzels too. I don't like popcorn, actually. I'm not a fan of popcorn. I like chips if it's like with a hamburger or something like that. But for the most part, I'm a peanuts guy all day long. You're talking about cashews, pecans, almonds, all that. I'm a big fan. All right. Shout out to Abu Bakr Al Puff Daddy, who says, ABO liberals say violence in communities is legacy of racism and lack of gun control in other jurisdictions. How would you respond? Racism doesn't make any sense. How is it racism when a black person shoots somebody black? Racism? I could understand if it was, racist people shooting people because of their race. That's not what's going on. You got black on black violence. Most violence in the country is one race on its own race. And the problem with the inner city is that you have a very high level of it. That's the issue of black on black violence. It's not even about who's shooting. It's about that, of course, but it's also about the rate at which it's happening. So, it doesn't make any sense. And gun control, I mean, you got guys out here. I know guys that street guys. They don't go to the gun store to get their guns. They steal guns. They get guns through other means rather than just getting it legitimately like how a regular normie would. It's not gun control. Regular people follow gun laws. Criminals don't follow gun laws. They don't follow laws, period, because they're criminals. So it's not gun control that's doing it. Thank you to Apex Origin, who said #1 fan with the emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Tony Boswell for a thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Sisyphus Wins, who says, I think a white man sold Grandmaster J some blanks for his AR. Hilarious. Thank you to Apu Bakar Al Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABO, in your opinion, what is the historical legacy of President Obama? Obama, he ushered in the LGBTQ ABCDEFG movement. That's what he did, in my humble opinion. Wasn't he labeled like the first gay president by Time Magazine or something? I mean, if I was Obama, I would reject that. I mean, you could say that you're a gay ally or something like that if he wants to be that, but don't call me gay if I'm not gay. You see what I'm saying? So I would be totally against that. If you call me the first gay president, I'll be like, no, I'm not gay, sir, or ma'am, or whatever your gender is. They printed this publication, so don't do that to me. Thank you to Steve Reno Plays for the thumbs up. And back to Obama right quick. The fact that he didn't say anything about this whole first gay president cover and push for all this LGBTQ, ABCDEFG, he is like, that's his shining accomplishment, was being a really big proponent of LGBTQ rights. That's what he did. Retro Gamer 81, thank you for your donation. They say thoughts on Twitter banning QAnon accounts. I heard about that. I don't follow Q, so I don't know a lot about it, but I don't understand what the purpose was. I feel like, they're just trying to attack anybody that's seen as pro-Trump. If they can find some kind of angle to get them on, then they're going to do it. I don't know what their angle was. Excuse me. Like, is it conspiracy theory? Like, what's going on? And did they ban anybody that posted a Q account or posted a Q thing? Like, who did they actually ban and why? That's the question. Thank you to Brett Sessoms, who says the black victims being shot in Chicago due to black on black gang violence don't matter to BLM. BLM is silent on that issue. Exactly. They don't care about the black on black. That's not how they make any kind of money. They don't get donations from black on black violence. They get donations from white on black aggression or perceived aggression. Even if it's warranted, they don't really care. They get the money on that. Thank you to Interracial Patriots, who says, hi, ABL. We love your channel. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. They say, we just started a YouTube channel, Interracial Patriots. Can you give us a shout out? Keep up the great work. Hey, shout out to y'all. You guys subscribe to them. Interracial Patriots. Check them out. I'm going to check them out myself and see what they got going on. But if I can find a link to their channel, I'll put it in the box. But I'll just post their actual name so you guys can find it. It's Interracial Patriots. There we go. Thank you to Retro Gamer 81, who says Bevelin and Edme Super Splash Sisters. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Shout out to that name. And shout out to Bevelin and Edme. They're doing the Lord's work for sure. Thank you to 6 Figures Wins, who said, I think a white man sold Grandmaster Jay some blanks in his AR. Hilarious. Thank you to Justice. I read that one earlier about the law enforcement officer and BLM. Thank you to Brian M for the keep it up emoji. Thank you to Apu Bakar All Puff Daddy, who says, ABL, where is BLM protesting the deaths of Jamel Moore and Timothy Dean, allegedly at the hands of California Democrat mega donor Ed Buck? Oh, no, they don't worry about that because a guy like Ed Buck would donate to Black Lives Matter, while at the same time killing not one, not two, but almost, I think, 3 black men in his house. Killed them in his house, and was open about it. He was very well known for getting these guys off the street, probably on drugs, and shooting them up with drugs just to see what happens, to use them as some kind of experiment, some kind of lab rat. That's what he was doing. 2 guys died. I think 1 guy almost died. So it might have been at least 2, maybe even 3 died in this house. Shout out to, let me see, Andrea Timmers, who said, thank you, ABL, for your great content. I thank you for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Thanks to my man, Jericho Green, who says, Chirac is finally getting help it needs. Maybe Black Lives Matter after all. Maybe so. I mean, it's funny how Trump and the government, the federals at least, think that Black Lives Matter by sending them help. But Lori Lightfoot, the black mayor, and Black Lives Matter themselves, they got all this money, all these resources, don't think the same way. Thank you for that, Jericho. And if you guys ain't subscribed to Jericho Green yet, go ahead and subscribe to Jericho Green right now. If not, you are missing out for sure. All right. Somebody asked me, would I debate David Pakman? Any day of the week, I debate him. Any day of the week. I'll debate anybody because if I'm going to debate you, I'm going to know my subject matter through and through. I'm not going to debate about a thing I'm ignorant about. I'm going to have all my ducks in the row for a debate. That's what I enjoy doing. So I don't lose debates because I'm always ready. If I don't know a thing, I'm going to say I don't know. I don't have pride. I have no pride. I have pride, but I don't have pride like that. I have no ego, put it like that. I have no ego. I do have pride, but I'm not going to let pride get in the way of saying I don't know, or my ego get in the way of saying I don't know. Thank you to Kim Massa, who says, heart you, love you. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Mara Blonde, who says, coming soon to Netflix, Ted Wheeler's Day Off. Wheeler docuseries is slated for 54 episodes and counting. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Holly T. Lightwork, who says, Kanye is not mentally ill. He is growing and transforming. He sees how Hollywood has used him, and Kim cheated with Drake. They are over. Hey, that could be the truth about him and Kim, but I agree with you. Kanye is not mentally ill. That's just him, and he's growing. Thank you for your donation. Most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to sort of retard. That's a name. I didn't say that. That was a name for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to, okay, I'm going to get this right this time. The Palima Get It, hopefully I said that right this time, who says, I believe Kanye said he was for legalized abortion, only that the 1 million option should be provided. Yeah, I'll take no for 300. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Like, he said he was for abortion being legal, but he's also anti-abortion. I mean, that's him. Like, if it's me, I say no abortion, period. Period. I don't care what the circumstance was. No abortion, period. I might even give you the whole thing of the Plan B pill if you're able to have it before conception begins. I think Ben Carson said it best. And shout out to Ben Carson. He was like, okay, let's say you've been raped, right? It's like being shot. Go to the hospital and get treated medically for what you just been through. Okay, if you have a pill that prevents conception after you've been raped or something like that, then okay. But when you have conception, you have a baby. So that's pretty much where I stand. Now, if I'm wrong about that, you guys let me know in the box. You know, I could be wrong. Thank you to Dorian Gray for the donation. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, I disagree on the mere fact that I worked the protest, and I know that everyone who supports the statement doesn't support the looting, riots, and shooting. And I'm with you, man. I agree with you. I understand. But all the bodies that are out there aid in the riots getting out of control. You see what I'm saying? Because if you only had those that were out there that were rioting and nobody else, it'd be easier to manage. That's just my opinion. Shout out to Shannon Hall, who said, you are 100% truth, ABL. How BLM, for us blacks in general, didn't protest when Joe Biden said, if we don't vote for him, then we're not black. Exactly. Facepalm. Exactly. Matter of fact, I was watching the news. It might have been Fox News. I think it was Outnumber Overtime with Harris Faulkner. And she had Wendy Osefo, black woman. And I forget the guy, white guy, on there talking about this particular issue, you know, with Joe Biden and the You Ain't Black. And then the white guy mistakenly called Charlamagne a rap star and said that Joe Biden couldn't keep himself together. And we talking to this rap star and said, you ain't black. Now, the black woman attacked the white guy for calling Charlamagne a rapper, but did not say anything about the you ain't black comment. Just totally glossed over that, right? It's funny how that works. We just totally ignore being disrespected by the left because it's not even about this whole black versus white thing. You put it to the side when it comes to the political stuff. You see what I'm saying? But thank you for your donation. Shout out to the Speaker of Civil War History, who says, I don't think BLM even knows who they are mad at. They don't know. I mean, they're not actually mad. People that are out there have their own grievances, but those that are pulling the strings, you know, they're trying to install Marxism. They got an actual goal. The people that are out there, the regular normies, the foothold, they don't know what's going on. They're just out there just to be out there because they ain't got nothing else to do. Because it just, you know, they're just general rabble rousers, you know. And you're right. They have no idea what they're out there for. If you talk to them, all they're going to do is screech at you. That's not how you communicate. You got to speak your words. Use your words. You know, take it to Pink King 554, who says, AG of Missouri, there's also asking for dismissal as well. Yeah, absolutely. So the Missouri Attorney General wants the case against a couple to be dismissed. You know, the people that were defending themselves against the so-called protesters, he wants it to be dismissed. And the governor is going to pardon them if they get convicted, if the trial goes forward. Thank you to Mod Q23, who says, shout out to Omaha Mayor. I know ABL Corn, right, Omaha, yeah. But she had a budget meeting and people were calling her a coward for backing the police and not defunding. Her response, increased police budget 5%. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Daryl. Thank you to Daryl Alexander, who says all lives are expendable. Unfortunate. Thank you to Jiraiya, who says, hey, ABL, you rock. The Democratic mayor seems to purposefully ruining their cities. Any thoughts on their collective motive? It's all about F Trump and, you know, F the police pretty much. And they want to stay in power. That's all I could really muster up, because it's not about the constituents, because having less police make it a more dangerous place to be. I don't really know what else. You could have some donors in the mix that want to see things go a certain way. So they want to go out there and defund the police and let things burn. That's all I could really come up with, boss, because I don't see any other reason to let this whole thing happen. Thank you to Ulysses, who says Australia has participated in Navy drills with the U.S. and Japan against China and the Indo-Pacific region as tensions grow. Are we in for something serious down the road? Keep up the good work, ABL. Thank you for that. There could be something serious happening down the road, but I hope that it doesn't go down that direction. But it could. You never know what's going to happen. Thank you to Praying for the Rapture, who says, ABL, it's Wednesday. I can't find the Space Force hat in your store. They took the Space Force hat down, actually. They said it was a copyright violation. I don't know how that's possible because you're talking about a U.S. government logo. Maybe I can't do that, but I'm not allowed to have the shirts or the hats. I might do a different logo and put it back, but I cannot use the ones I had before because they took it down. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, it's using Teespring. Teespring for me is better to get orders out and to have the best ability to get things to you. I could do like a store aside from Teespring, but it's more complicated to do. We'll see how we're going to fix that in the future. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says, Bill Gates has his hands in the pockets of China. He is one of many promoting vaccines. You're right about that. Thank you to Shear the Wolf and Lead the Sheep for the thank you emoji. Thank you to Retro Gamer 81 for thank you emoji. Thank you to Tim Wesley, who says that's what Trump was saying a few years ago, that everything was designed in America should be made in America, not in different countries. Exactly. No, that's a big problem right now. We get things that are designed here, made in China somewhere, or Bangladesh, or somewhere, some Asian country, not here in America. Thank it's Roth the Third. Thank it's Roth the Third, who says, brother from another mother, I am so excited to hear you speak. But the question, if we are winning, I don't know, because so many are not hearing. They listen but don't hear. Yeah, it can be just kind of discouraging, but I say keep on going, man. Keep the faith. Thank you to Jack Bacon, who says, let's call the BLM murals what they are. Tags. Exactly. That's what they are. Calling it a mural is kind of a stretch. I don't really see many murals on the ground. Why put a mural on the ground? Doesn't make any sense. You're trying to get attention. You're trying to see, an aerial view, and you're trying to get something. You're trying to do a copycat type thing. That's what's going on. It ain't nothing else. It happened in DC. Then everybody else want to do the same thing. And then you got to get photo ops and drone footage and all that kind of stuff. Dramatic pictures. That's all you really want to have. Thank you to Sharon61 Sunshine for the thanks emoji. Thank you to YouTube user 533 for the apple pie emoji. Thank you to, let me go back to where I was. Thank you to Ladybug for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Ralph the Third, who says, how do you have a discussion with a leftist? I already had answered that one. Thank you to Deborah Pilastri, who says, law-abiding citizens must stand up. You're awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Blake Jameson, who says, why don't right YouTubers get together and discuss ideas, proposals, the future, and solutions to problems rather than rehashing drama and mainstream media news? Well, what do you suggest, sir? What should we do? I mean, the news is important. I enjoy news. This is what I do. I'm a news channel, so I've been doing that. I'm not really sure what you want us to do. We do the show on Brandon Tatum's channel talking about what's going on, and I'm not really sure what else you really want. Thank you to Chosen Lifestyle, who says all crime matters. Thank you to Jonah Lee McCullough for the donation with the cat. It's probably me right there. The cat smiling, the Cheshire cat. Thank you to everybody that donated so far. Thank you to Hiker 867, who says, thank you for being a beautiful human. I love your channel, and I'm so happy you are growing. I appreciate you for that. Alrighty, we got super chats. There's a few more of those I'm going to read a little bit later. Let's get to the calls right now. And you guys on the drill. If you don't, the number to call is 434-658. There it is, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's get to the calls. I'm going to start Skype up. If it wants to act properly, that'll be just fine for me. But it often does not, obviously. Alrighty. Let me get everything done the correct way here. And let me see. Okay. Let's get to it. Okay, I gotta turn that the ringer off. The ringer is very loud. I'm gonna turn that off, and then we're gonna get straight to the calls. And the phones are already jumping. Again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and do this. Okay, where we at? And turn that down. Perfect. There we go. Nippin', what's happening? Everything's good, man. What's going on?
1 second. Let me. Oh, yeah, we're done. Kanye's rally. Well, that didn't go too well, did it?
It was something. I say that.
Yeah. I just hope he endorses Trump now.
Well, he's still running for president, so he won't do that anytime soon.
I mean, like, he probably won't get into the actual debates, though.
Who, Kanye?
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Like,
Yeah, he
the
probably
ones
won't.
between Biden and Trump.
Well, yeah, no, of course not. Yeah, he won't do that. And there might not be any debates between Biden and Trump. Hopefully there is, but who knows?
Look, I think it's gonna. I highly doubt it, but I hope it's 1984 all over again.
Oh yeah, Walter Mondale, Ronald
Where
Reagan.
Biden only wins California. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real. Trump's not winning California.
Yeah, I don't think so. But you know what? I think in the future that could change. But for right now, I don't think that's going to be what's happening because California.
Well, a lot of people are leaving California and moving to Texas.
Yes, they are now.
So what could happen is California goes the other way and Texas goes the other way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they kind of switch. That could happen.
Like California becomes a red state and Texas becomes a blue state.
That very well could happen.
Yeah, and who knows, probably 50 years from now, the South could be blue, the Northeast could be red.
Wow. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Imagine a red New York, a blue Louisiana.
That'd be crazy.
Anything's possible.
It is possible.
And yeah, I'm just here showing my solidarity to the Sin Missouri couple.
I'm with you. Got the water pistol on deck.
No, it's not a water pistol. It's just a gun that I got with my cowboy outfit.
Okay.
So yeah, they got charged.
It did get charged. Yes, it did.
Just for showing their rights.
Right, because you got a radical prosecutor out there that wants to make an example out of them because she does not like their politics.
She shouldn't be in power. I mean, like, as a... how am I supposed to say this? As a prosecutor, you should be neutral.
Yes. She should be, but that's obviously not happening right now. It's all about just trying to send political messages. That shouldn't be what's going on. And the craziest part is that she is letting a lot of these violent people out on the streets with no kind of penalty. So you want to let violent people go, but arrest innocent people, non-violent people? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever live in the States, I would own a weapon just for self-defense. I mean, I would never attack anyone first.
Right, no doubt.
So, and violence in Chicago. Oh my God. It continues.
Yep.
And let's see. The Black Lives Matter mural destroyed. Yeah, that's actually a good thing.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because they destroy our statues, we destroy their... It only makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, in New York, especially, like Fifth Avenue, Manhattan, where the BLM so-called mural got defaced, Bill de Blasio wanted to have that out there as a direct political attack against Trump, against anybody on the right. and he was guarding it with police. That was the whole purpose. You know, he has other so-called BLM murals around the city that don't have any police guarding them. It's all about sending a message. It's not even about Black lives. So Beverly and Beatty, who did that, was very good to go about it that way, because there was no way you're going to be able to get that thing taken down, and there was no way you're going to be able to get your messages up there. Like, you would just have Black Lives Matter up there, nothing else. It wouldn't be All Lives Matter. It wouldn't be Baby Lives Matter. It'll only be that because the mayor wants to send a message, and it must be very political. So I'm glad you did that.
Remember that street called Black Lives Matter Street?
DC, yes.
Now imagine if the tides were flipped, and there was a street like in New York called Trump Street or Trump Plaza. Imagine the outrage. Imagine.
You know what? That happened, I think, in Israel. I think that's a place called Trump Heights in Israel. And people were mad about that. It's not even the United States. People here were mad about that, and they're not even over there. So imagine if that was to happen here. It'd be just... God.
It would be ugly. It would be ugly.
That's right.
Let me just tell you that. So, yeah.
Well, I got more calls on the line, Nippin. I'm going to cut you short, man, but I got a lot of calls jumping because, you know, it's a lot of people calling in. So
yeah, I understand.
Well, thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
It was nice speaking to you, ABL.
Oh, definitely, as always.
I shall speak to you on Sunday.
Sunday your time, Saturday my time. I got you, boss.
Yeah, I'll speak to you then.
All right, man. Take care.
Peace.
Peace. All righty. Thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you guys. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you went again through Skype like my man Nippin was, there's a description. There's an email in the description box to get in through Skype. Add me on that. We can go ahead and get straight to it. All righty, man. What's going on? Valentine?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, brother? How you doing, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
All right. Did you hear about the T.I. Lloyds of London?
The Lords of London?
Yeah, the whole Lloyds of London debacle. Did you hear about that, T.I.?
No.
Prepare to laugh. T.I. on the Breakfast Club, actually, he went on there, and this is regarding the whole reparations, right? The whole a little bit on what you had this week with that lady that I know you're humble, but you destroyed her, man. Come on, just say the truth, bro. T.I. and I guess his people have identified a company, not even in the U.S., but in the U.K., called Lloyds of London, and they're an insurance company. What he was able to identify about them is that they have been involved in the transatlantic trade route, right? So what they did essentially was that, again, they're an insurance company. They insured the cargo. The cargo was, as you know, Black people coming to America. So basically, T.I.'s whole premise is that since Lloyds of London was built on the blood of African Americans coming to the United States, he is asking that Lloyds of London, again in London, pays reparations to African Americans in the United States at 10% of the company's worth. But not only that, you're laughing now. It gets crazier.
Okay.
He said 10% in perpetuity. So forever until that company exists.
Wow.
And not only that, it even gets even crazier. He wants $1 million from that company, a $1 million loan at 1% to every single Black African American in the United States. How does that sound to you, man?
I mean, okay, all right. Let's just pause for a minute. I got to get through this. Okay, so 10% of the total company's, I guess, revenue earnings worth every year. I don't know.
Yeah. So I was able to look up. They did about in half a year last year they did about $3 billion. So let's say six billion for the whole year.
Right. So I mean, now where's that money go? Like you just get a payment, just get a check in the mail. How does that work?
Yeah, yeah. He just said you just get like a check in the mail, basically. But then my other question is, how does he know who qualifies for what? Who's black? What happens to the people who are like biracial? Do they get 50%?
His wife is biracial. I mean, funny fact, his mother-in-law is white, like actual white lady.
Oh, look at that! I didn't even know that about T.I.
Yeah, Tiny, she's mixed, 100%.
So Tiny's only gonna get it all depends. So you gotta get a DNA test, and if you're like 50% sub-Saharan, then you get 50% of the payout.
Right, exactly. It's kind of crazy. It go back to the whole $2 Indian thing. A lot of white folks right now claiming Native American benefits. So it's like, what are we even doing? It's so silly. And my thing is, okay, you want to go after the people that have money. You're just trying to get the money. You want to go after the big banks and whatnot. But, I mean, are we going to talk about the Africans that were involved in the slave trade? Are we going to go down that road? Are we going to talk about, Togo, Ghana, Benin, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, some of the Angolans?
That was my same exact comment on the this is, again, this is on the breakfast, because my same exact comment. So how much we gonna ask for reparations for the Africans who sold other Africans into slavery? Are we going there? Why don't we go there? And then why even stop there? I mean, like you said, it seems like it's all about the money. Why don't you just go full circle? Why just not give the land back to the Indian and send everybody home? The Africans to Africa, but they, and if we want to do what's correct. Look, I'm from the Dominican Republic, so even I will have to go home, right? Because even in Dominican Republic, they did the same thing. The white people came, the colonizers, quote unquote, they did the same thing. So even there, we're gonna have to, if we're gonna revise history, we just stop at the money part, like you said, isn't?
Right. I mean, we got to go like all the way. We can't just say, okay, they got money, take it. Nah. If we're going to go there, let's go there and be consistent. Don't just say, or we're going to exclude them because they don't have any money. No. If we're going to do it, let's do it all the way. You're 100% right.
And an international company at that. I'm like, but to be honest, I give it up to T.I. because this is the most comprehensive plan that I've seen regarding reparations. For example, that girl you debated on RT, she had nothing to say about giving anything. Her whole argument was on, we need to make a study. We need to make a study to see. We need to make a study. That was the whole thing. She wasn't, okay, so we need this amount. I mean, it's just literally impossible. We're going to try to revise history. I mean, it's insane, but I mean, this is where we are in 2020. What do you expect?
Exactly, 100%.
My brother, thank you again for everything. God bless. Take care, all right? Have a good one.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem.
All right, yeah, shout out to the Valentine Show. Find them on YouTube, you guys. Fantastic caller. Fantastic content. Great content. All right, let's get to the next call. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. But like I was saying, let's not stop at just, don't just attack the money and try to be, kind of envious about that. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way and really do it if we're going to do it. If we're not, then don't even really bring it up. All righty. Caller, who am I speaking to? Skype?
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Oh, good. I'm glad I got a hold of you, man. I'm wanting to run something by you about China. I heard you talk about China earlier. I totally agree 100% with everything you were saying. And I think what we're seeing when it comes to China is basically a multi-pronged attack going on in this country that's probably been started back, I don't know, could have been back since the Korean War, Vietnam War. They started making these plans, but it seems like they've infiltrated our universities, our education system. They've, taken our technology, military, industrial, tried to cripple our economy through jobs and outsourcing. And I think this coronavirus thing was probably one of the last few things that they unleashed on us until their next phase, which who knows what that could be right now. But one thing I noticed was today, I had a friend of mine's dad who texted me. He's kind of like almost like a stepdad because we've been friends for 15 plus years. He was in the military, ex-Vietnam guy. And this guy is brainwashed in a way that I could have never imagined. And I think it's because he's been locked down in the house, like we all have, like a lot of us have. And China is, I mean, I've seen a lot of evidence that suggests that China's been working with these mainstream news networks, MSNBC, CNN, um, to help spread propaganda. And I mean, this guy is literally accusing me of being a Nazi, of all these crazy things that it's like I'm talking to a totally different person. And I've known this man for 20 plus years, Anthony.
Wow.
It is crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it. I never thought anything like that would hit home. And I've been telling this guy, I can prove it to you, these things I've been saying about the Uyghur Muslims in China and the trains and the stuff that Trump's been doing with the feds and the reasons why he's been doing it. Well, that's because they called off the police in Seattle, and the mayor is controlling the police, and they're trying to attack a federal building. That's why agents are being called in. It's not because of Nazi, Gestapo, stormtrooper. I'm trying to make sense to this person, and I would never think that he would have been so just closed-minded, just like it's crazy. But I think that's one of the reasons why they released this virus, is because they knew that people were going to be locked down in their house, and they knew that they had the control of most of this media. They have TikTok, they have Google, they have all these media corporations that are working with them to spread this propaganda, and people aren't going out anymore and talking and sharing opinions. They're just tuning into screens. And most people aren't super cool nerds like us, Anthony. They don't get on computers and research topics. They just see what they see on the mainstream media and on Twitter and on the mainstream networks, and it is changing people's complete realities in a way like I've never seen before. And I just wanted to share that aspect with you, that I think that's one of the reasons why they're shutting down our schools, because I mean, this virus isn't killing kids on mass numbers. I mean, if you're 85 or older and really bad health, yeah, you got something to worry about. But for the most part, it's not killing a lot of people in this country. And why are they shutting down our schools? It's because they want parents at home watching this propaganda. That they want people exposed to this stuff, and that's what I really think one of the main reasons for this virus, why it's spreading so much, and why they were lying and hiding it, and that's the ultimate goal, is to keep people locked inside their house, so we will watch this stuff and start believing it. And it's only people like us who go out there and look for other alternative people like you that spread the truth. That's why I'm so thankful for what you're doing, man, because you're really doing God's work. I'm here in Texas. This is a red state. In Fort Worth, where I'm from, people are Republican here for the most part, but it's flipping so much. My neighbors are from California now. I mean, just is so much change going on so fast, and I cannot sit here and believe that it's all coincidence. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, man. Well, hey, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank you all for being here. You guys are fantastic. The best audience on the internet. If you want one of these hats that I got on my head or a bunch of more, there's a link for that in the description box. Go to ablmerch.com. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put it up right now. ablmerch.com. Check it on out ASAP. And let me see. Is there a link for anything else? It should be my flags link in here as well. Let me see if it's there. And yes, it is. If you want one of the flags that are behind me, the beautiful wooden flags that are behind me, and whatever kind of style you want, custom made, prefab, or whatever, check out a link right here in the description box. That's BHE Designs. Use that link. Tell them I sent you. Get your flags ASAP. Let's get to the next call. 219, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
DTC, my good friend. Been a while.
All righty. What's going on?
Oh, where to begin on this craziness of this world? Well, I'm feeling a lot better because I had 2 root canals yesterday. Ugh.
Oh, wow, man. Hey, I know that's kind of rough.
Yeah, but then when you also hear the media about, like, doom, gloom, fire, and brimstone, end of the world. And now here's the Powerball. It's just complete insanity. What's going on in the world? With the mass shootouts happening in all the blue states, politicians are pretty much hiding in their bunkers. And now then, with supposedly the secret Cold War between America and China starting to come out, out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I feel like it's been here for a while, but it's just now that we're really starting to pay it attention. Like it's kind of like been, punching us in the face for the past 5-10 years. But now we actually see it and we're paying it mind and taking it seriously.
I think it's kind of like the equivalent of a mosquito bite. Like you hear it, that high-pitched, annoying sound. You're trying to smack it away, and it's already long gone. But it's already taking something out of you.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Pretty much. Not only that, but also I've seen some like other people, like this guy called the Courtney, talking about like how Disney is under fire because of the whole shady deals with China. And then hearing Sargon of Akkad, that's talking about like how the left is trying to redefine the definition of violence.
Yeah. I mean, they always they really enjoy changing what they enjoy trying to change language, and the one thing I always see them try to change is the word racist, because and I feel like they've done that successfully, because a lot of young people especially, they think that racist means a thing that it does not mean, because they'll say that you can't be racist if you are black or if you're just not a white person. It's like, nah, that's not what the definition says. That's not it at all. But if you try to argue that with them, they'll really try to be serious. Say, no, it means you have to be white. You got to have power. It's like, no, that's not what that means. So they always try to change what language means, and they use it as a weapon.
Big time. Not only that, but also how you can have to be racist to anyone that has a white pigmentation, but anyone that is black, well, you're pretty much dead.
Right, exactly.
I mean, what happens if you... Oh, sorry.
No, but you're right.
What happens if you got someone... Okay, you first.
No, I'm about to say, you're right. That's why they want to change the words, because if you're racist to a white person, then it's okay. That's why they want to change what the word means. But if anybody else, then it's not okay. You see what I'm saying? Because then they'll say, oh, that's not racism. That's something else. But go ahead.
Pretty much. And it's kind of funny, like, thinking back, 3 things that in the past that the left has been constantly hollering. The first one is about, like, how they've been, like, pretty much going down on their knees and worshiping the Muslim community, treating them to be on the high pedestal of being the most oppressed. Now they got kicked out of that and it's replaced by the black. No offense.
Yeah, man, that's what happens. There's always some kind of oppression in the Olympics, And now it's this whole thing about black trans. And matter of fact, there's a new word for black folks. I just learned it the other day. A white woman told me what the word was. Now, I don't know how she decided that for me, but whatever. The new word is BIPOC. Have you ever seen that before?
Oh, good Lord.
BIPOC is BIPOC. That's Black Indigenous Person of Color. That's the actual thing that's used. You're going to see that a lot more. You're going to see it in news reports. You're going to see it in AP, Reuters. I'm already starting to see it kind of swoop around. And I'm pretty much really involved with black stuff and black politics. I was not informed about this. I was not consulted. Nobody called me on the phone and say, hey, can we change the term from color to people of color to BIPOC? I didn't get a call. So it's kind of weird how that works.
It's kind of like a fashion trend. It never stops changing.
Yeah.
And the other two I was talking about, like how, remember all the mass shootings? Every time when a mass shooting happens, then you get the left that's screeching from the top of their lungs, clutching onto the pearls and saying, oh, think of the children. But with the, quote, peaceful protesting, crickets.
Yeah, 100%. Because they don't really care about the issue. It's all about just trying to push a particular narrative. And they'll actually respond based upon what is most beneficial to the narrative.
Big time. Oh, you should see the video from Razorfist that talks about like how gun control seems to, die after all this that's going on. And the last thing that the left has pretty much having said to people, the coronavirus. One minute they said that, oh, don't go outside, especially if you're black. You can have a 90% chance of death. But then the riots, peaceful protesting.
Right.
Go ahead. hug each other, shoulder to shoulder. Show your rights to go up against the fascists. Just make sure you keep your distance and wear a face mask. Oh, and also don't forget your special loot sack and your baseball bat to liberate the oppressed merchandise from the tyrannical stores like Target, Gap, Best Buy, Toyota, and some other big brand company.
Right.
Well, I feel a lot better now, like talking to you about all this.
Well, I'm glad you do, man, and I thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right, now.
Keep on what you're doing, man.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And what I was talking about earlier, because you didn't catch it, not bipod, like, a bipod. No, BIPOC. BIPOC. That's what I learned. Matter of fact, it's a whole website and everything. Hold on. The BIPOCproject.org. I'm not lying. Look it up right now. BIPOC, BIPOC project.org, O-R-G. And it's a whole thing. Black, indigenous, people of color movement. And they got kind of like the rainbow flag type thing in there. When I saw it at first, I'm like, what do they mean? Like bisexual or something? Like, is this some kind of freak stuff? What's going on with this? I feel like whoever made it wanted it to be some gay stuff at first. And then they just kind of filled in the vibe with black and indigenous, because I feel like black people of color is kind of redundant, because if people of color meant black folks and other non-whites, why you got to put black in a term that has people of color in it? That make no sense. So I feel like they were just trying to make it be some gay stuff and then switched it at the end when they wanted to put it out to the public. All right, call you on the line with speaker 217.
Hey. What's wrong with those colors, man? Did you do with the hat? I guess it was a teleconference with you, and he's talking about reparations. The story of T.I. I mean, T.I. is a rapper. He's not a historian. I don't know why people keep looking at this guy serious. And actually, this guy is confused, saying that we don't need to do a study. You need to do about H.R. 40, and you need to do why historians are being studied reparations, Jim Crow laws, slavery for decades. So
no, I think what he was saying was that all they want to do is study, is nothing else.
Well, they have to do the studies first to determine how much the compensation is going to be.
But they don't want to. They don't. All they want to do are studies. Like when I was saying in the debate with Reese on RT the other day. When it comes to the LGBT community, they got actual things they're going to do right away. Okay, we're going to do gay marriage. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. There's no study involved. Wait. I'm not done talking. And then with the Hispanics, with illegal aliens, they say, okay, we're going to do amnesty. Ain't no study involved. We're going to do amnesty, period. When it comes to reparations, wait, I'm not finished talking, sir. I'm not finished talking. But with black folks, what they want to say, oh, we got to do a study. We got to figure it out. We don't really know. It's because they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything. They're not going to do anything. And that's just pretty much how that goes. And guess what? When I talk, nobody can hear you at all. It's the beauty of the show. So I'm going to stop talking now and give you the floor.
Okay. So do you know how much Goldman Sachs make out of slaves? You know how much the Koch brothers make out of slaves? Do you have any idea the impact, the economic impact that this company is worth billions of dollars they have made to slavery? Do you have any idea?
So how much did they make?
Billions of dollars. I mean, actually more, because...
Do you have an exact number?
But that's what I'm saying. So you need to do a study first to determine what was the economic impact. I mean, how much money we lost with...
You missed the entire point. The whole point was that anytime they say reparations, I'm talking, sir. You missed the whole point. Anytime they say reparations for black folks, all we gotta do is we gotta figure it out. The whole point behind saying the study is not to actually be genuine. It's to deflect and to never ever do anything. All they're gonna do is promise you a study, and then that's it. They've been studying for 150 years, and it will never be anything that comes of it. That's the actual point. With other communities, they do stuff right away. Ain't no study needed. That's what's going on.
So when you run for you start start running for the beginning line and to the end line, right? So we need to know what happened. What is
we know what happened. There's no need for a study.
We got people like you who think that way. That's why we haven't even passed HR 40.
No, because it's not me. It ain't people like me. Wait, it ain't people like me that's trying to actually put it out there as far as a bill or anything. It's not even about me. And you know what? It's funny because when I talk, nobody can hear you. But it's not even about me because I ain't the guy trying to put it out there. It's y'all. It's the left one to do it. And y'all never do it. Y'all always say, let's do a study because it's stalling. It's a stalling tactic. Don't you see? It's pretty clear to me. Matter of fact, when I was on the debate, my debate buddy, Reese, she was even agreeing with me when I said that with other communities, they got concrete things they're going to do. We're going to do amnesty. We're going to do gay marriage. Ain't no study needed. Ain't no discussion needed. Ain't no debate needed. Ain't no referendum needed. Ain't no vote needed. We're going to do it. But with us, all we got to do is study. We don't know. They've been saying the same thing since 1865. It's not going to happen. And it's y'all that want to do it. But go ahead.
What's wrong with you?
I'm telling the truth. Am I lying?
What's wrong with you? How can you compare gay marriage, gay people, with something that have 300 or 400 years of history?
The whole point is that with other communities, they're going to do certain things, and there's no studies needed. They're just going to do it. But with us, reparations, all we got to do is study. So I've repeated myself multiple times now. Hopefully you can get it through that thick skull of yours. We can move on to something else so I can hang up. Your choice.
The farmers, the destruction of companies, the destruction of... You know that black people invented the elevator, they invented the air conditioner.
That's great. That's fantastic.
All that stuff was stolen from them. How could you really...
Who stole it?
Hear that too. Are you...
Somebody stole the invention? Somebody stole that invention?
Are you that desperate that you want to make a point?
Who stole it? Who stole the invention? You said that a black person created the elevator. Who stole the invention from them? I mean, look, sir, like, I can talk and ask you a question and you can answer, or you can just be screeching like you do right now. So the choice is yours. Now, who stole, sir? Okay. All right. Have a nice night. All right. Shout out to Ivan. Hey, he made it a little bit longer than he does sometimes. Like, I'll hang up on him. Every time he calls, I hang up on him and he keeps calling back. You know, so it is what it is. But at the end of the day, my whole point, I think I made it crystal clear. I repeated myself so many times. I'm getting tired of it my own self. But the point is that, we're going to do a study. We're going to try to figure it out. They're never going to do anything. It's a deflection tactic because people will eat it up. He'll eat it up. People like him will eat it up. We got to do a study. You've been studying for so long that you should know your whole craft, left, right, front, back, side to side, inside, outside. Like, what else are we really... It's just like trying to say you're trying to study what 1 + 1 is. It's like, you ain't figured it out yet? Why have you not figured it out? Let's get to the next call. All right, caller, who am I speaking to? Skype caller?
Hello, ABL. Can you hear me?
I heard you well, man. What's going on?
Hey, my bad. I'm just recently watching your videos, and you make very informative content. But I wanted to contact you during this live chat to ask if you hear about the evidence change up on the Missouri couple's case.
The evidence change up. I'm not sure what you mean.
I guess you know how, my bad, I really can't articulate my thoughts like that, but you know how Mrs. McCloskey had a firearm that didn't work, right?
Yes.
They the district attorney ended up ordering the crime laboratory to field strip it, and they fired to make it work.
Hold on. So it did what now? What did they do to it?
Field strip it, because I think the hammer was reversed. I read this off of a Blue Lives Matter thing on Facebook, and basically they made the pistol work. Wow.
So I mean they altered their gun to make it work. That's crazy.
So the charges will stick.
Wow. I mean that should get thrown out, because if you're making the gun work when it did not work, then you've made it something that it wasn't. She did not have that ability to do that at that moment when she had it.
Yeah, that's tampering of evidence. That's illegal.
Correct. 1000%.
But I just wanted to give you a call to run that by you real quick to see if, like, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I read it off of pro police website off of Facebook. I just wanted to run it by you to make sure you heard about it.
Well, yeah, I've not heard about that. So thank you for the information, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Keep up the good content.
Will do, man. Appreciate you, boss.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. So they tampered with the evidence, making the gun work. They said they took it apart and then made it work. Like if they say they did that, then that shouldn't be admissible at all. It's like, okay, you got the OJ gloves, right? And if you don't fit, you must quit. Now, if they take the gloves and make them bigger and then they put them on them and they say, "Oh, the gloves fit now," or that's kind of a bad example. You understand what I'm saying? Let's just say some evidence it didn't match what somebody said happened or what they were alleged to have happened. You change the evidence to fit whatever you want. You can't do that. That's totally illegal. 1000% illegal. Okay. So they did that? I mean, how can that be legal at all? Like, I'm reading it. Y'all say they actually did that? Now, am I wrong in saying it's actually illegal to do that? Yeah, she gonna the prosecutor is about to get sent up the river. You talking about Gitmo making big rocks, little rocks, because now you're doing with something totally different. You're trying to actually railroad these people when they don't deserve anything like that at all. Okay, let's get to the next call. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Brad. How you doing?
Everything's good, man.
How you doing?
Everything's good. What's happening?
Hey, I've been trying to get hold of you for a long time on this call. Hey, I don't know what you guys have been talking about, but I wanted to talk about the Chinese Consulate in Houston.
Yeah, go for it.
If that's okay.
Go for it.
Anyway, I was listening on YouTube, and they were doing a local Houston interview with the Chinese Consulate there, and he was kind of denying stuff. He was kind of saying, hey, if you have something against us, show us proof. And the newscaster was saying, hey, we've heard some things that maybe some of the people that some of these Chinese people that are going back and forth between China and America, they had false birth certificates. And he was saying, and they were talking about him going to the George Bush International Airport and meeting some Chinese students that are coming from like Georgia and North Carolina and stuff, and they're coming back through Houston to go back to China. And he said, well, he does that to inform the students, and he brings them masks, masks so they can take it back to China. He says when they get back, that he's informing the students that they have to go through a 14-day, for the COVID, or the CCP virus, that's what we call it. And he was saying that, that's the only reason they're giving them masks, explaining to them when you go back to China, you're going to have, 14-day quarantine and to relax. And they gave them like these discs, CD discs, to, I guess, put it on their phone or their computers to like maybe watch, information. And I don't think that's probably what those discs are. And I've heard this, that when students come back over here, they go back to China, they get, they have to go to the police station, they interview them, and anyway, the consulate gave them discs. And I would imagine that on those discs, they have, stuff that they stole here and just sending it back to China.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's been going on for a while. I mean, people got actually caught doing that. People got locked up doing that. So, yeah, that's no surprise.
Yeah, and another thing is, I've been listening to you. You were on last week with three other black gentlemen, the cop from Phoenix, and I've been listening to him a lot. But I also listen. I don't know if you know Steve Bannon and Miles Guo. Steve Bannon, the War Room Pandemic. I listen to them. I get a lot of information about them. They're talking about the Three Gorges River or the dam, and about all these hydro dams that they have in China that come from Tibet, and about all the flooding. And basically, some of those hydro dams are letting the water go, and they're not even telling the people downstream. The Chinese government says, go ahead and open them up because they have to, because they're going to burst. So they just let them go. They don't even tell the people downstream. They kill these people. They don't care. if they kill 1,000, 100,000, a million, they don't care because all they're going to do is repopulate them.
So wait a minute. So you're talking about the dam? It's like in Tibet. So
They've been having like biblical. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the Tibetans, are they downstream from the actual dam?
No. What happened in 1950? China went into Tibet, took it over, and Genghis Khan had said back in the day, say whoever has Tibet, they own the world because Tibet is one of the most concentrated, with minerals and things like that. And so China went in back in 1950, took them over. Anyway, they started making these dams because they were trying to get the water and back it up. So anyway, it's just that they don't care about their people. You got to know that the Chinese government.
What I'm saying is like where the river is, like, is that in Tibet?
Yeah, it starts. They have the Yellow River and the Yangtze River. They start in Tibet, and so it goes. Tibet is up northwest, and you have Xinjiang or whatever. Where they have the Uyghurs and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's down. But if you look, Tibet is where everything starts. So that's one of the reasons why China or the CCP, sorry about that, took over Tibet because they already knew that place is a hotspot for minerals. That's why they have all the stuff where they can make all these, everything for us. They have the minerals. So they have a monopoly on minerals.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, Miles Guo, he's a billionaire from China, lives in New York. He designed the new Chinese national flag. I don't know if you know about that.
I don't know about that.
Okay. You look it up, Miles Guo, Guo, and look up new Chinese national flag. Anyway, you're talking about like, what is it called? What is those apps they're trying to get rid of? I have an app called WeChat. It's a Chinese app. I have hundreds of friends in China, and I have friends around the world that are Chinese. I went to China in 2008. I love China. I love the people. I just can't stand the
government.
CCP.
Yeah.
And everybody that I know in China hates them. They can't do nothing about it. So I'm on WeChat. You got to be very careful about when you're on WeChat because the government watches you.
Correct.
And the main thing is you either can do one-on-one chat or chat in groups, and they check the group chat. And so my photo on WeChat is the new Chinese flag. And there's one guy who had his ID was Chairman Mao. He said, "Hey man, what's this flag you got there?" I said, "What flag? What are you talking about?" "It's a UN flag." I was acting stupid. He goes, "Isn't that Steve Bannon flag or that Miles Guo, that billionaire dude?" I said, Steve Binion, who's that? And so he goes, "You need to take that thing down. That thing's controversial." I go, "Well, what about your logo, the Chairman Mao?"
Oh no!
I heard that he was worse than Stalin.
Oh no! Oh no!
I said that in the group, man. And the thing is I heard this in America. If you're on WeChat in America, they cannot block you because your phone number is from the U.S. But if you're in China and they see you're writing this crap, they'll kick your ass off. Sorry about that. I'm cussing, but anyway, it's just I have people. I send them videos of the Three Gorges Dam. I send them pictures of people being assassinated by the Chinese government. I send them to these groups. I don't care.
Hey man,
you got some people going, "Damn man, you got some stones."
Yeah, exactly, man. But hey, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey man, keep up the good work. God bless you. Okay.
All right, thank you. Bye. All right, shout out to the caller. Let's get to the next call. 646 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi. This is Stacy Caliche. How are you, ABL?
Everything's great. Can't complain about yourself.
Great. I just came back from Tennessee, and we had to quarantine for 14 days because my governor Cuomo said so.
Man, that's terrible. But I mean, how was Tennessee? Did you enjoy your time here?
Very much. We were in the Pigeon Forge area, and we stayed in a cabin. We did all kinds of great things, and I have dreams of moving to Tennessee someday, but I'm not quite sure if I want to move there. I lived in New York my whole life, and I've changed as well as New York has changed at the same time, and I just don't feel like, I fit here anymore.
I hear you. I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, in Tennessee, people were there was a very good vibe. People were very relaxed. And one thing I noticed was when I was there in Tennessee, people were at where New York was in, you know, like early April with the virus, you know, just starting to wear the masks. And they started limiting people going into stores and making them wear masks and all that. And I was talking to people there, and they felt that the virus was completely overblown and exaggerated. But it's very, you know, it's so disheartening what's going on in the country right now, not just in New York, but just everywhere. You know, how people are walking around, you know, they're pretending things are and they're not the way they are. They want to pin everything on Trump. You know, the virus, they want to pin the violence and the destruction in the cities on Trump and everything. And it's so, I don't know. I don't need to tell you, but everybody feels the same way, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
The only thing that would make me stay in New York was if Don Jr. became governor. I've heard talk about that.
That could happen. I thought he would run for president in 2024 when his father is finished. But he could become the governor. Either way he goes, he's going to do something political. I see it coming. I see him ramping up for it. So either the governor or the president, that'll be his next run, in my humble opinion.
Right. I don't know how that would go if he became a presidential candidate. Maybe he would be better off being a governor first.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the way the governors and the mayors today, they're sacrificing their own people because of their hatred for Trump. It's just so obvious. I don't know why everyone doesn't see that. I just get angry when I think that some people do realize it and just don't care because they hate Trump too. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, Bill, I'll let you go.
All right.
Talking to you.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care.
All right, now.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I think Don Jr. can become the next president. I was saying that a while ago. I was saying that like probably about 2 years ago. You know, or definitely I was saying that last year because I saw him a lot just out when I was out. He'd be everywhere. So it just kind of made sense to me for him to be the next guy. All right, let's get to the next call. 518, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Ed Mahoney from New York.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Nothing, man. I'm watching your live stream right now, and I'm just wondering why a lot of people are just so deluded and they don't get that. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. The mayor of Chicago is so deluded and thinks that everything's okay in her city, and people are killing each other.
Yeah, you know what? I think that she might even be lying. She could be lying, and she's saying that because she doesn't want Trump to come in and get any kind of credit for anything. This could just be a political stance, not even really caring about the well-being of the nation or of her particular city. Not even caring about that. Just worried about just pushing the political narrative.
I agree 100% with you. I just don't understand how somebody can be is a mayor who's supposed to be educated and just can walk over the truth like it's not in front of her face.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing, but I mean that's where we're at nowadays, unfortunately.
All right, that's all I wanted to say, man. I enjoy your videos and stuff. You're one of my favorites, and I just wanted to get a chance to talk to you. I appreciate you answering the phone.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. A great call. 319 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Jacob. How's it going, man?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's good. Glad to hear it. So I was just calling to ask, you see everybody saying, oh, the COVID numbers are going up and all this and that. Well, I think, in my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the protests and like the riots have played a huge role in that. And then they're all blaming it on Trump. Like, what do you think of that?
I think you're right about that, because one main thing that we know just from observing, not from being an expert or anything, or from listening to any kind of politically motivated talk, what we know is that tight crowds, a lot of people like New York City, that can cause it to spread. People that are unhealthy, a lot of spitting and carrying on is going to spread it. So if you have a spike, it's no surprise that that's happening with all these so-called protests that are allowed to happen. And people say, oh, well, places where they had protests aren't always the ones that are having a spike. Well, we really don't know that for 100% certain, because the level of testing is what is going to determine where the spike is, first of all. Second of all, people travel. Like, a lot of these people are traveling to these so-called protests, and then they're going back to wherever they live and spreading it there. I mean, it's pretty clear to see what's going on, but they don't really want to talk about that. They say that, oh, they're wearing masks at these particular rallies. Well, number one, not everybody's doing that. But number two, they're still kind of like nuts to butts. They're not having any kind of distancing between themselves. So that's how it's going to spread. It's pretty clear what's happening.
Yeah, for sure. One last question. What do you think about the masks? Because I watch Brandon Tatum too, and you know, I love what he says. If you can smell a fart through those masks, it ain't gonna protect you from COVID. I think it does maybe help if you have COVID, not spread it as much, so you're not spitting on people or stuff like that. But like, I think for everybody to be wearing them is kind of, I don't think it really helps as much as people say. And then like, I see people on social media, and all my friends are like, oh, wear a mask or you're so selfish and all this stuff. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be whatever, but like, I just don't think that they really do as much as people think they do. What do you think about that?
I don't think they really help that much. Maybe they could prevent. I mean, even Anthony Fauci at the very beginning of this whole pandemic, he said that maybe they'll block a droplet or two, but it's not going to help you from actually catching it, because really it's spread through touch. That's the main thing. That's how it happens. That's probably why it was like that in New York, because people living in these buildings with like 200, 300, 500 people. They're going through the same front door, the same elevator. They're touching all the same things, same mailbox. It's a lot of high traffic, high touch areas. People aren't washing their hands properly. They're touching their face, touching their mouth, and they're spreading that way. So the mask could help a little bit, but not that much, and it won't protect you from getting it. People think that it's some kind of shield from being able to, from catching it altogether. But that's just not the reality. Like, it was one guy that was, he had died, and people were talking about how he was ignorant because he didn't want to wear a mask. It's like a mask wouldn't save him from catching a virus and dying. That's not how that works.
Yeah, exactly. My parents work at the U of Iowa, and they know a doctor who actually got COVID, and it's like, you know, he was wearing a mask and a face shield and all this stuff and all this and that and doing everything right, and it's like he still got it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it gets to a point to where like you can only do so much. You know what I mean? And it's like, in my opinion, I believe in God, and you know, fate is fate. If you're gonna get the coronavirus, COVID, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? But
right.
I don't know. That was really all I had to say, ABL. You have a great night, man. Thanks for taking the call, and take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. Later.
All right. Shout out to the calls. Great calls. You guys are fantastic. Thank y'all for calling into the show. You guys, I couldn't ask for a better audience than this. You're the best audience on the internet. Let's get back to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's do 610. You're in the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, this is Vaughn.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man? Pleasure to talk to you. Just had a couple things I wanted to run by you. Earlier, you were talking about slavery with the, reparations for that one caller. But Thomas Sowell, and I don't think a lot of people really realize this, wrote a great chapter in his book, Black Rednecks, White Liberals. I think I might be missing the title of it, but it's called The Real History of Slavery. Have you ever read that?
I've not read the whole thing. No, I've read a little bit of it, but not the whole thing.
Oh man, the history of slavery, it just gives you a whole like brand new perspective. It like really opened my eyes about it, and just kind of like the reality of slavery, and just kind of like puts a light on it that, you know, when people bring up reparations, they only talk about slavery like that it only happened here or something, but it's been a worldwide institution, you know what I mean? And it's still practiced today, but no one seems to talk about that. And I just think it's just crazy that no one really talks about Thomas Sowell. What is your thoughts on that? I mean, are you a Sowell fan or Walter Williams or any of those guys?
Yeah, I'm familiar with his work. I'm a big fan. Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams. I mean, it's just a lot of things that they say just make sense, and they come about it from an educated point of view, especially Thomas Sowell from the academic point of view. And it's a lot of what they say. If people could just hear it, if they could read it, then they would learn a lot more than what they do. A lot of the things that they talk about, I feel like should get taught just in regular, everyday education, K through 12, maybe even college. Because a lot of these kids, even when they graduate college, don't have the information, and they got to go try to find it other ways.
Oh man, you're not lying. I work with youth. I'm in Philly, and I work with inner city, right in the inner cities, and it's crazy, man, because the education. Everybody said they want to be educated, but I think that's part of the problem. Is the education system it's so indoctrination, man. It's not teaching, you know, the real education. I don't know, man. It's teaching I hate to say it like this, but victimhood, you know, and they don't teach the real education of giving like introducing individuals like Thomas Sowell, Walter. I think that film, and that's the reason why I called. I wanted to get your opinion. Maybe you did this on an episode before, but two things: your opinion on the Uncle Tom movie, which I thought was great, and your thoughts on Trump's reelection. You think it's looking good for him or not?
Well, I've not seen it yet. I know I'm really behind, but I gotta find some time to watch it and just sit down and watch it. But I've not seen it yet. I know like pretty much everybody in the movie. I know I'm gonna talk to them. I got their phone numbers. We done met at least once or twice or a few times. So, you know, shout out to all of them. They're great people just by themselves. Matter of fact, I could have been in the movie because I was there at least twice when they were filming, but I just wasn't in it for whatever the reason may be. But yeah. So shout out to all them that were in it. Hopefully I'm in the next one. They might do a part 2. I might be in that one. But what was the second question? I forgot.
Oh, it's all good. I was just thinking, you know, I'm up and down, man. I'm hoping Trump wins, and I try to stay away from the media. What's your thoughts on his reelection? Do you feel good about it, or?
I think that he will win. I think people talking about Joe Biden winning. Like, I'm watching people, they say that it's gonna be a runaway for Joe Biden. I'm like, what kind of drugs are you on? Like, I don't see how this makes any sense. Like, anytime you see Joe Biden, he looks terrible. Like, and it's really I get kind of disappointed for Joe Biden, because it's like, you shouldn't be running for president. You should be, getting some help for whatever's going on with your mind, because it's not really right. They could have somebody else in there in this place. They could put, Andrew Yang or somebody. Don't put Joe Biden in there, 1 foot in the grave. He has no chance. That's just being real. There's no enthusiasm. There's no nothing. You go out on the road, aside from just being on the internet, just go out on the road and drive anywhere in America. Are you going to see a Joe Biden sign? Are you going to see with him will win, all this, that, and the third? What you're going to see is Trump 2020, Trump Pence. You're going to see that everywhere. I see that all over the place, not just in the South with the North, the East, the West. You don't see the same enthusiasm for Joe Biden, so I'm not even really worried about it at all.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. It's kind of I'm in the same boat as you. It's just one last thing. I think, and I'm praying for the black community as a whole, because Joe Biden, they're going to pick probably a black VP woman to be VP, and that's just so pandering. And you got Obama now that they're doing a video. I don't know if you saw this yet, the trailer they did for like a sit down conversation with him and Biden.
I saw that.
It's all virtual thing. And I just really hope that the black community really sees through this, because it's just so pandering, man. And And I'm praying because this whole coronavirus, all of this is this distraction because they got to keep Joe Biden out of the media because he like you said, he's out of it, man. So thanks for all you do, man. Keep it up. I appreciate it. I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you, man. Stay blessed, all right?
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care, man.
All righty. Shout out to my man for the call. Great call. Let's get to the next call. 214 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, man. What's going on, man? This is Tariq, bro.
All right, Tariq. What's happening?
Not much, man. It's talking about Mayor not Lightfoot talking about Trump better not sending any troops or whatever he's going to send to Chicago to terrorize the citizens. And this is the problem with these liberal mayors, especially these black liberal mayors, man. What black people have to understand is there's a confusion in our community where we think being pro-liberal and pro-democrat is being pro-black. And this is why our community fails, because when you put clowns like Mayor Lightfoot in, who comes off as I'm a black woman, but then she's like I'm for illegal immigration, LBT, all the issues and all that nonsense, she's actually going to put the Democrat Party agenda before black people. And when you do that, black people get ignored. This is why Chicago is a Democrat-run state, but it has all these crimes. And none of these Democrats will do anything because they don't want to look racist. They don't want to clamp down on it. They don't want to send more policing. They don't want to do anything about the family structure. They don't want to do anything about the economic structure because they don't want to look racist, man. And, you know, it seems like black people are trained to where Trump is like, look, I'm going to send some help to stop the killings. You know, this may make her look good if she accepts Trump's help to lower the killings of black people. Black people will like that because the thing is, bro, in these hoods, the reason why police are there is because black people are calling the cops on other black people.
Yes.
Like, straight up. That's what it is. There ain't no white folks standing on the sidelines observing the black. You know, it's black people. And they put her in power because they're like, maybe she's a black woman. Maybe she understands our concerns. Maybe she's going to stop these crimes. Man, Lightfoot ain't doing nothing. You know, it just frustrates me, bro. It's just this whole brainwashing of the black people where, man, you put these liberals in power and they talk a whole lot of pro-blackity, black stuff and do nothing. So, yeah, man, like, you know, if I was Trump, bro, Trump should just let Chicago fall and, you know, on the Democrat leadership and say, you know what, if you got, look, your mayor has my hands tied. She don't want me to help y'all. You know, if she wants to defund the police, she don't want me to help y'all. So, listen, if y'all want to help, get her out of there, get a Republican in, get her out of there, and I promise you I'll come help you. And that's what needs to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, it's just, you know, it seems like everybody's on code. You know, it just seems like all the Democrats are on code to get rid of Trump. And it's like, it doesn't matter how bad black people behave in their areas, they're never going to say anything because they don't want to be deemed as racist. You know, so they will talk about this whole COVID stuff while still allowing protests. You know what I'm saying? That is unbelievable. If COVID is going up and people are dying, why are they allowing protests? You know, because once again, they don't want to look like some racists. You know, so yeah, man. I just hope that, you know, actually, you know, I don't hope Chicago fails, but it just seems like, you know, something's got to be done. And the thing about the Black Lives Matter movement, and this is why they lose a lot of credibility, because, you know, saying you can't say it only matters when white people kill us. And even black rappers understand this fact. I don't know if you saw the viral article about I don't know, was it Little Baby who said black people can't be racist? Was it him? Have you saw that headline?
Yeah, it was him, Lil Baby.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, black folks will call him a coon. They will call people like Lil Wayne a coon as well when Lil Wayne was talking about black on black crime. And this is what they seem to ignore. These black rappers come from the hood, bro. They are raised in that. And when they see the violence and the chaos and destruction, they're not seeing white people. They're seeing it happen by their own people. And it's expressed through their music. When they rap about, you know, what's going on in the hood, the drugs killing, no one is mentioning white people. They're talking about their own people. Yet you get these liberal reporters, they go up to them and they ask them these ridiculous, highly charged politicized questions. Hey, what do you think about Michael Brown? What do you think about George Floyd? And when they respond, man, look, man, I'm worried about black folks killing each other right now. We need to worry about ourselves. You get the black community calling them coons and everything, but they're not understanding that's the experience that they're going through. You know what I'm saying? The black community, they say there's no black on black crime, but our culture permeates that there's crime through the entertainment. If you look at a lot of our movies, why is a lot of our movies about drugs, violence, gangster stuff? The majority of our movies is like that. And the majority of our music is like that. If we had no crime permeating our culture, we would be talking about different things. So this is a real incident. And the thing is, and I told you this the last time, the reason why white liberals especially love it when we have these issues, and this is why they come in our communities and preach division and make sure that they keep LGBT issues at the top priority, because that intentionally divides the black man and woman. That also, when you start inserting that T into our children, that confuses our children. All that just confuses the entire black community, because they know through confusion there will be dysfunction. And then through dysfunction, they could come to us like knight in shining armor, like they're our heroes, say, don't worry, we love you, we respect you, we will protect you, and get our vote. This is the system. If black folks want to talk about the system, that is the system they need to be attacking, not Donald Trump. Like, talking about Donald Trump and the Republicans while your situation stays the same every 4 years does absolutely nothing. Like, we really need the black tacticians, the educated black folks, the black folks who think logically and are fearless to come out and talk, and we have to support them. Because, man, we keep letting these Angela rise, these TIs who's now TI, I guess, is starting to be woke. I call it fake woke, because he's only woke to whatever liberals want to talk about. T.I. will not have a career if he goes after liberals. I promise you, that man will be apologizing like Nick Cannon if he ever starts attacking liberals. So he's gonna stick to talk about Donald Trump. This, like I said, this is that, to me, that is the system that is keeping black folks lost. And I bet if black folks were serious and they had an agenda and they approached Donald Trump and said, hey, listen, this is what I think we need to do for the black community, some serious, tangible things, I think Donald Trump will more than likely enact it. And even if Donald Trump brags about it, let's say he goes on Twitter and says, I did this for the black community, I did this, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You will have black people say, oh, he's just bragging, he just used a... So what? It's quid pro quo. I don't care if Trump brags about it. He did so for me, so he gets to brag. I don't care. He brags, I got my agenda, who cares? Get over it. Like, all this emotion, he don't care about you, he just brags. Shut up, because you go to Obama, and all Obama did for you was a photo op. That man ain't invite y'all for no policies. He wouldn't even allow y'all to talk about policies. All y'all did was take pictures of him and act like you did some civil rights woke historical thing. And now he's gone. Nothing. None of Obama's policies. Not a single African American can say one thing that Obama has done that affected all black people in a positive way. Nothing. And that's all I want to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
My man Tariq, always with the great calls, every single time. Great call. That was all facts right there. Nothing but facts all day long. All right. Thank y'all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. 859, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, how's it going?
Everything's good. How about yourself?
Oh, not much, man. Not much. I have a YouTube channel myself. I'm happy to hear from you. First-time caller. I watch a lot of your stuff. I even listen during when I'm at work. And I saw something on Facebook, and I was going to ask you this question. And I know this is not going to get mainstream attention, and I saw this on Facebook, and it's horrifying. There was a young black guy from BLM, took a picture of him putting a knee onto his stepchild on his neck, like George Floyd. And I'm like, and he's behind bars now, but nobody from mainstream media is going to mention it.
And hold on, caller. To be clear, the stepchild was a baby, like in diapers.
Yes. You saw the article, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that made me sick to my stomach, man. I mean, like, I like edgy humor, man, but like,
nah,
going too far.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Right.
And also, I have a question. For somebody who wants to be part of radio or podcasting or on YouTube, what's your best advice to give to somebody?
Well, it's kind of a lot. I guess I would say, be consistent. If you're gonna do a YouTube channel, if you're gonna do a show, be consistent so people can know to look for you. If you fall off for like 2, 3, 4 days and you're not putting anything out, and you do that a lot, people now see you as inconsistent. You're kind of a hobbyist. You might do it occasionally. Therefore, it's kind of hard to build an audience like that. If you're always doing it, always being consistent, always putting stuff out, you build a following, you build a base, and you can go from there. If you're inconsistent, it's hard for you to grow. If not, it'd be impossible to grow. And always be professional with your stuff. Be on time. Have good equipment. If you can't afford the best equipment right now, that's fine. Start with good equipment, but then work your way up to better equipment. So be consistent and have good equipment.
Thank you for the advice, ABL. Also, the thing is, and that's the one thing I don't get about the mainstream media. They like to label Trump racist, Nazi, and all these other things. But I've known people who went to Kiwi Farms. And you know what Kiwi Farms is? It's a social media that it's a lot of people on there that it's like unedited crap. There's some neo-Nazis who actually hate Donald Trump because Donald Trump supports Israel. And I try to point that out to these liberals, and they're like, oh, I don't believe that. I'm like, think about it. It's a nation full of Jews. Why would, think about it. Nazis hate him for a reason. I mean, it takes common sense. Some of these liberals just don't want to listen or understand or even have reason to even listen. I mean, some do, some don't. It depends,
Yeah, see, they'll kind of like make lies up to attack Trump because, they talk about him being, a racist, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, but just before he was the president, while he was just Donald Trump, he's hanging out with black folks. White folks didn't really matter who it was. There was never no allegation of racism up until he became the president. That's the only time you ever heard it. He's been famous since the 70s. So if he was racist, we would have heard about it before 2016.
Exactly. And also, he stuck up for Mike Tyson several times. Mike Tyson was accused of rape accusations and stuff like that. It was false. And Donald Trump bailed him out of jail and got him a lawyer. And Donald Trump is the opposite of racist. He's not perfect. I don't agree with everything he's on his policies and stuff like that. But you know what? He's better than Bush, Bill. He's better than Barack Obama for sure. And I think he's actually, to my opinion, he's an outsider. I don't consider him left or right. I consider him as a libertarian. I just can't wait till he legalizes marijuana. That's just my thing. I love guns. I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm just pro freedom in general, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. See, and the thing about Mike Tyson, he got locked up for rape. He was convicted of rape, and even after that, after he got locked up and convicted, Trump didn't bash him. Trump spoke highly of him all throughout that time. He still stuck by him. And then Mike Tyson went on the podcast and said, "How can I sit here and bash Trump when he never bashed me? He always spoke highly of me." And even after the rape conviction, because he could have said, I don't deal with that, rapist is that and the third, but he didn't do that. He was always true to him before all this politics stuff came about and after it as well. So, he's a stand-up guy and always is going to stand for what's right, regardless of what's going on. So that's just Trump. That's a guy that people know. That's a guy that people have been knowing for a long time. And you can't just change that because he's running for the opposite side of a political spectrum somebody is on. Hey, man, thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. And I'll let you know, my name is LeVar Morgan on Shirk Media. Check me out if you want to see sometime. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Let me get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, let's do 772. You know how much speaker to?
Hey, how you doing, sir? This is Ozzy from the 772. How's everything?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Good, good. Always great content. Always good callers, man. A lot going on, man. A lot going on. But man, a lot of passion, a lot of people getting in it. But a lot of talks about. But I'll go right into what I'm thinking, man. Here, all these things we're talking about. I just hope that truth prevails. The light comes out where the darkness is. People need to get educated. I don't know that. I think emotions is a powerful, it's a powerful thing. Emotions, fears, people have. They play on people, and a lot of people may not know. I do a lot of research on things like you do, and I look for facts and everything, man. And we got 50 of the largest cities ran by 38 of them are ran by the Democrats. 38. And they talk about the problems they have when they're running it, and then not for nothing, I know we don't hold our tongue. We speak like we see it and hear it. 28 of them are ran by black folks. So they are in power to do and make changes in all those cities. But people fall into, they are blind to so much, and they get so emotional. And they've been using this propaganda, the Democrats, for years, man. This has been played out. When they do war games and scenarios, this is like MIT people behind. When they get behind this stuff, very smart people, these are tactics that's been playing, and they use all these things to fear people, get them emotional, give them they don't deal with the facts, the truths. There's so much to go through, my man. But great callers. I'm listening to so many people. When you got things on your mind and you want a chance to verbalize, and you hear some of the callers and they say all these things that you really want to get out and explain and get out. And I think that a lot of even the moderate Democrats, all this is going to backfire. We do got to pray and got to unify. And I know a lot of people, man, are on the low. We don't go out there and make all that crazy noise like we're a ringing bell. And they're going to come out, and they're going to keep Trump in the office, man. All the Chinese, and they do everything because people that hunger for power, to stay in power, they will do any evil deeds, man, and they're slick with it. So they mask it, they mask it so well. It's wolves in sheep clothing, and this is serious. I know this is serious, man. We're trying to keep something big that's trying to happen, that's changing this country forever, or for a while till we bring it back or whatever it changes. But I think that if you believe in the power of God and prayer, all of us, we got to reach out. We got to get facts out. And I know a lot of black folks that I know, friends, workers, and all that, they are not feeling this. A lot of them are not feeling the black lies. They know that it is full of it. So we got to come out and represent. And I just want to say, great platform. It's always a great. And I've been listening to you and watching you for a long time. You've come a long way. And it's good that you got these listeners. It tells you a lot about your content. Like you say, being consistent, you are. And I just want to say I appreciate it, man, giving me a chance to always come on, when I can. I'm always there. I'll try 300 times to get on. I'm dedicated to try to reach out. You know what I'm saying? I'm because, it's that's good. You got a lot of people tuning in and trying to get their voice heard. And, man, look, just keep it up. It's very important that we just stay. I mean, there's so much to say. You got so much going on. We could talk about 15, 20 topics, but the truth has to the facts have to stay on point. The truth has to come out. And this is warfare on the American people. And it's been a strong 58 years. I mean, boy, the devil is patient.
That's right.
People to get power, the power to stay in power. They will do all this, and they're good. They know how to use a lot of things.
I'm with you, man. 100%, man. But hey, I got a lot of calls online, so I'm gonna get to a few more. So thank you for your call, man.
Absolutely. Take care, sir.
All right, now take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller, and thank you all for being here. You know what the drill is by now. The number to call, 434-658-1220. If you want to get on through Skype and be right here in the bottom left-hand corner, there's an email for that in the description box below. Let's go. 407, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, ABL? This is Matt. I'm actually a YouTuber now, and you kind of inspired me, but I was calling because one of your guys called in talking about Obama didn't do anything for us, and he was the first black president. That is something.
Okay. Yeah, I give him that.
He killed Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
So that was definitely like way off on whoever was calling in and saying that. And I think you guys were talking about Trump, whether or not when we started calling Trump a racist. It wasn't when he got elected. It was when he was campaigning.
Yeah.
He campaigned with a bunch of racist issues.
You say he campaigned with racist issues?
Yeah. Trump, I mean, Trump's entire campaign leading up was basically, like Mexicans are drug dealers, gangbangers. They're gonna rape all our women. Like that was the primary argument for shutting down illegal immigration.
Is that what he said, or is that what the media said that he said?
We know for sure. I mean, he definitely said that. I mean, that's an easy Google right there.
So what did he actually say though? Because I remember watching that, he was saying that Mexico are not sending their best people. That was the context of the whole situation. Because the media, they'll put out that one piece of it and say, "Oh, that's all he said." He was saying they're not sending us their best. They're not sending us. He was in the crowd pointing people, saying, "They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending us the rapists, the murderers, the whatnot. They're sending us their bad people that they don't want. They're sending us to us. They're sending them to us." So he wasn't saying that was Mexicans in general. He was saying that's what they're sending across the border. They're not sending the best people illegally. We want more legal, good people, not the trash that they send us illegally.
But Mexico is not sending anybody over here. The Mexicans are coming here on their own. Like they want to be here.
Well, I mean, if they're not sending them, then why are they being found with pamphlets about how to cross that comes from Mexico themselves? No, that got found out. They were given pamphlets to say, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you go about it. And then we had to really negotiate real hard and put a lot of pressure on them to protect their border to the south. Matter of fact, there's a train that goes from Guatemala at the border of Mexico up to the United States, and they just let it kind of go. They just let it rock. They don't even try to get anybody on top of the train that's going illegally. They just let it go. So if they're not stopping anything, I mean, what do you really call that?
When I listen on the news, right, when that illegal immigration thing was high and it was in the media a lot, you saw all those camps full of women, a bunch of children, right? There's no people like the pamphlet thing. I don't really buy that. There was not the people that are coming here are looking for a better life. We know that. Or they're coming here.
Is that what they're doing? Is it a better life, or is it just to get money?
Right, but they're not. Mexico is not sending them. They're coming on their own. Is the point I was trying to make.
Okay, so but the pamphlet. I mean, I saw the pamphlet. I saw it and I've seen a lot of interviews. They're sending these people because they're not stopping them, and they're telling them how to get across. They're telling them how to be safe in the desert. They're giving them the instructions. So, I mean, if that's not sending, then I can't really tell. But we can disagree on that.
Okay, so then someone called in talking about reparations for slavery, and the dude was kind of commenting about how, there's slavery all over the world, and no one cares about that, and why should the reparations? If reparations happen in America, it's going to be because of America's participation in slavery. It doesn't have anything to do with slavery that's going on in Africa and the rest of the world. It's going to be because of what happened here in our country. That would be the purpose of those reparations. Just like when the Jewish people got reparations for what happened to them through the Holocaust, and Japanese people got reparations for what happened to them over, I guess it was World War II. There's a direct connection on the reparations. The slavery all around the world argument is kind of like a joke to me. I don't know where they're getting that from.
Okay, so as far as Japanese people, when did they get the reparations? Like, at what point did they get it after the internment camp thing?
Honestly, I don't know. I would have to look that up.
Okay,
but,
so I'm gonna get to my point. The point is that reparations, I've said it before, if it was to be given, it should have happened right after slavery, so you can identify who the slave master was, who the slave was, not 200 years later or 165 years later, not well after the fact when everybody's dead and gone. Because now what's going to happen is you're going to just have me as a taxpayer pay for my own reparations. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It's dumb. Okay, back when it happened with the Japanese, people were still alive that actually went through it. You were able to identify who the person was that committed a crime or wrong, and those that were actually affected. Not have everybody be dead and then try to sort it out later. It's not going to actually happen. And that's what I was talking about when I said, with the mixed race and stuff like that, you're gonna try to figure who got a little bit of black in them, who was here during slavery. If you're a black person, do you have any white ancestors that had slaves? Was your black ancestor a slave themselves? It's dumb.
I mean, I honestly, my main concern with the reparations is I don't think we're ready for it. If reparations were going to happen, you're going to take the money, right? I mean, you're saying it's dumb, but you're not going to turn it down, are you?
I mean, it's my own money. It's like this whole thing with the virus thing. It's my money, so I mean, it don't make no sense. It's my own money given. It's like they're gonna take my money, give it back to me for reparations, and then on top of that, and then beyond that, where's money going to come from? Like, so with this whole virus thing, we got $6 trillion in debt on our back that we got to pay somehow. We're going to have the cost of everything go up. You're forcing the money out there, so I have to take it, but I don't want it. It's like the whole thing with the virus. I got to take it, but I don't want it. Even if I don't cash it, I still got to take it because I'm being charged for it. All you're going to do is just make the debt go up and make things cost more and increase inflation and make the country be worse overall for a thing that don't even it makes no sense to even do it. It's dumb. And on top, like I said, you're talking about 150 years way too late. It's not a thing that makes any sense.
Well, okay, so when the amount that you would pay, it's going to be a fraction of some money from everybody, but as a black person, you're going to get a huge sum. It's going to make it does make sense.
So how much will reparations? How much is it going to cost the United States? Do you know?
Trillions.
How many trillions?
Just like coronavirus.
But wait. What's the number though? Can you give me a specific number?
I would have to do my research.
So if you don't have an actual number, and how can you say how much it's going to cost? You can't say a fraction of anything if you don't know what the actual cost is. Let's figure out the cost first, and then we can talk about how much it's going to actually cost.
Okay. Well, Trump is costing us all them trillions right now off of the way he's handling the coronavirus, though.
I mean, what else is he going to do? I mean, there's no other, because I mean, what's going to happen? You're talking about a worldwide pandemic, an actual virus that kills people. Like, what you going to do? It ain't like reparations where you could just do it or not do it. It's a choice. We're talking about a virus that's actually killing people. So what do you do in that situation?
Number one, he needs to make sure everybody wears masks. That should be a rule. We should have a forced shutdown like we did in the beginning, but because people didn't handle the situation properly the first time, we're gonna have to do that again.
Okay, so wait, caller, hold on. Wait. So a forced shutdown. You talking about shutting down the economy again?
We have to. We're
so you're talking about it's costing a lot of money the way he's handling it. If you shut down the economy again, it's going to cost you more money. So isn't that handling it improperly when it comes to how much it's going to cost?
It's costing us money either way.
No. Wait, sir. Listen to me now. Won't that cost a lot of money? Shutting everything down. How can we do this again? It cost us $6 trillion the first shutdown. So now you want to do it more, and it's going to be national? Are you serious?
It's going to cost us money if we don't fix the virus. Like, we're having the same problem. The economy's crashing right now, and we're not on lockdown.
Okay, so here's my last question to you. If we shut the country down and everybody wears the mask, will the virus go away?
Yes, it will go away.
So you think that viruses you think viruses just stop being viruses? They just get cured on their own if we just don't go shopping and if you put a mask on? Is that how it works? So the virus can't spread through touch. The virus can't spread through any other means. It can't get through your permeable mask. Is that what's going to happen? It's going to die because we just don't go shopping?
Yes. First of all, it spreads through droplets in the air, not touch. Also, the mask, social distancing, and lockdown, and we're going to have a vaccine. Polio is gone, right?
Polio was not gone. Polio was not gone. What are you talking about?
No one gets polio anymore.
Yes, they do get polio, sir. You're incorrect.
Sir, you get like one person with polio for every.
You're totally wrong. You're 1,000%. Polio was still a thing. It's less common. It's less common in the West because of vaccines. Ain't no vaccine for the virus though. Right. Ain't gonna be no vaccine for the virus. Do you know that the do you know that the common cold is a coronavirus? Where's the vaccine for that?
I know that.
Where's the ain't gonna be no vaccine. So you waiting for a thing that you're waiting for a thing that'll never come. Ain't gonna be no vaccine for the virus. Okay. Putting your mask on and putting your mask on and not going shopping is not going to stop it. It's still going to be here. That's how viruses work.
Your president is paying for the vaccine right now. He just gave Pfizer like $100 billion.
Hey, because you got to try to do something to make the whole thing to try and fix the situation. But the reality is, ain't gonna be no vaccine. That's the situation going on. But hey, it's been a good call. Been on for a while, so I gotta get to my next call. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. My man said polio was gone. No, sir. Polio was still around. It's not common in the West, but polio was still here. Okay. There's actually been polio outbreaks in parts of the world, and it spreads through the vaccine, which is funny. But anyway, what else? You're not going to get rid of the virus by putting your mask on, but people think that. They think that you can actually get rid of the virus if you put your mask on and don't go shopping. That's not how that works at all. And if it does not spread through touch, why I got to wash my hands all the time? Why I got to put on hand sanitizer? Why I got to put on gloves and all kind of stuff? Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's get to the next call. 415. Oh, I guess I'm a little bit too slow to the trigger. Okay. All right, calling online. 567. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Taryn Myers.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, sir, how you doing, sir?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Well, yeah, I'm a state of Ohio employee. I can't tell you the department because it could jeopardize my job.
Gotcha.
But I just want to say that I agree with you 100%. And this virus, out of 6,000 employees that are my union brothers, only one has died since this virus has started, and he had health complications prior to the virus.
Right. Yeah.
So the percentage of that virus killing people is way lower than they are saying in the news media.
Yeah, of course. It's probably on par with the flu if you go outside of New York City. That's probably what's going on.
It might be lower than the flu.
Yeah.
So all this is, I've known people that have had family members that have died from heart attacks or legitimate, illnesses that they have put COVID on their death certificates, and they've been told they need to get an attorney in order to change it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because it's all about they're trying to get federal funding.
But one guy,
COVID.
I saw a story that says a guy who died in a bike crash on his motorcycle, he was counted as a COVID-19 death. It's like, okay, if you die in a vehicle crash, that's not, you didn't die from the virus. And then I think somebody asked the official about that on TV, and they were trying to say, well, maybe the fact that he had the virus contributed to the crash. It's like, are you serious? For real? Come on.
I had a lady in my church go to the doctor for a shoulder injury, and they put COVID down on her examination records.
Wow.
Shoulder injury had nothing to do with COVID.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But ABL, I just want to say that I've been trying to get in for the last 20 minutes, and I really respect you, and I respect what you're doing for the American people, and that you are a true patriot.
Well, thank you for that, man. I definitely appreciate you.
And like the last guy that was talking about trying to, he was just trying to shut the economy down again. That's not going to do nothing but kill more people. You cannot shut the economy down for 0.001% of people that are dying. And if those people feel that they're at risk, they're the ones that should stay home. We need to go back to work.
Exactly. I'm seeing some of these stories of, people that are dying, and they're trying to say, oh, kids can die too, young people die. But people I see that die, you're talking about they're 19 years old, they're 500 pounds, they're obviously not in good health, not been in good health their whole life. I mean, we see who's vulnerable, people that are out of shape, that have health complications already, and the elderly. Those people should just stay quarantined. They should go through the protocols or whatever. But if you're regular and you're not compromising your immune system, you need to go back out there and go to work. We can't just shut the whole nation down or the whole world down because of this virus. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right. And also shutting gyms down, that just compromises the immune system even more. Because if you're not able to work out, get cardio exercise in, then you're just more susceptible to a virus, any virus, not even just this virus, but.
Correct. Absolutely. 100%. You got to, be in shape, keep your lungs, especially because it attacks your lungs. And if you don't have your cardiovascular endurance there, that could affect you if you get the virus. That could help you actually, that could contribute to you actually dying. So yeah, you're right about that. Open them gyms back up too.
Yes. And not only that, you're hurting gym owners that put their whole life into, and all their monetary substance into opening a gym to help other people in the community, and now they're being punished. And same thing with barbers. Barbers can't even cut hair. They have to go, act like drug dealers and cut hair on the low. But
right.
Being punished for it.
Right, exactly.
My barber was arrested, and luckily the law director in this county stood up for him and told the officers to leave him alone and let him go. But he was detained for 10 minutes for cutting hair.
So where was he? Was he in the shop or at somebody's house?
No, he was in his shop, but he had a closed door on the sign, or he had a sign that was closed, and he had curtains up, and they knocked on the door, so he answered the door, and they barged in without a search warrant.
Wow. Over cutting hair, really?
Yeah. Yes, and the person in the chair was his cousin, so, I mean, I don't see how that was to the general public of cutting hair. It was a family member.
Right, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah. But, yeah, I just wanted to come on here. I can't believe I got in touch with you, man. I mean, you're an American hero, man.
Well, thank you for that, man.
You're standing up for the working man, and you're standing up for the people that can't be heard. So, well, I just respect you 100%, man. And I think you have you should get into politics because you have a voice that everyone wants to listen to, and you stand for our rights and our constitutional rights. You're just an American hero to me, man.
Well, I thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you for your kind words and for your call. Most certainly appreciate you.
All right. God bless you, brother, and stay strong.
All right. Same to you, boss.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. I got time for maybe like a couple more calls, and I got to wrap it on up. Thank y'all for joining. All right, call you on the line. I'm speaker to 267.
Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Mark. What's up, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not much. Hey, I wanted to get your opinion on, I know that you touched on it already, the whole Nick Cannon thing.
Yeah.
Because I know that, I saw your red pill video, and I know you said, like, you used to, touch on the whole Nation of Islam thing, and I know that he's into a lot of the, him and, like, Professor Griff, they were talking about the Hebrew Israelites and stuff like that. And, like, I think it's more like a hypocrisy when it comes to, that side of the argument, how, Griff is kind of like Richard Spencer, but, like, reverse, how he's going on with, he has, like, states picked out for, where he wants, like, I guess, like, his, like followers to go and stuff like that. Do you think that, like, Nick Cannon is going to be, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like the Bubba Wallace thing, where it's like, your ratings are down and stuff like that, so you're taking one for the team, so you can get, like, built back up, kind of thing like that. Like, how do you feel, where if it's just more like something like a platform that he has is like a divide kind of thing?
So are you trying to say that he's, like, doing this to make it be some kind of career for himself, to go down that direction?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Because, I mean, I know that that's, like, a big thing right now. It's, like, it's really being pushed right now with, like, like the Hebrew Israelites. It's, like, really, like, deep down, it's like a racist organization, or it seems like it, at least, with, like, how they talk and everything. I mean, I've seen videos where, they're going on about, like, they'll just, like, people on the street, they're like, anyone who's not, like, a darker complexion, they're, like, infidels and stuff like that. And I know that, he was also quoting Louis Farrakhan. And yeah, so, like, I don't know, it's kind of just, like, there's a lot to, like, unpack with that whole situation when it comes to, like, celebrities following, like, that kind of movement versus, like, if there was, like, if he was a different, like, he got fired from everywhere, but Fox is still going to have him on. So it just seems kind of like a career.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, though, just to answer your question. I don't think he's doing this for any kind of career opportunity, because he's actually damaging his career opportunities with this. Because Nick Cannon, okay, he had a few jobs. First, before this, what he's doing right now, he was the host of America's Got Talent. Now, for America's Got Talent, he was set to make $10 million per year just for that one show. At the same time, he was also hosting Wild 'N Out for the past 15 years, since 2005 on MTV. And then he's still hosting The Masked Singer on Fox. So from all of that right there, plus previous things he's done, he was in music before, he was in movies. He's well into probably, like, 100 millionaire. Well into that.
Right.
He's a rich guy regardless. So you can just do whatever he wants at this particular point. It ain't like Colin Kaepernick, where you are making maybe $1 million, $2 million from your NFL contract, and then once you get to be 32 or 35 or 36, it's over with and there's no more. It's not like that. And Nick Cannon's been working since he's been a teenager with Nickelodeon and Viacom. So he's like a child star too. But anyway, what he's doing right now is actually damaging his career. He had some kind of comedy routine with some woke stuff in it that I think it might have been NBC. They didn't like that too much, or whoever he was with, they didn't like it too much. So they cut him from America's Got Talent and then put Tyra Banks in his place. So that was $10 million a year gone because of the woke stuff. Then here we talking about Jews did this, Jews did that. Now your Viacom thing is gone. Wild 'N Out, that's gone. That's more millions gone. Now you still got the whole thing with Fox, The Masked Singer. So you want to hold on to that because this whole woke stuff does not pay as much as The Masked Singer or America's Got Talent or Wild 'N Out. If you're just a regular nobody like Bubba Smollett or Bubba Wallace, whatever his name is, and you just a decent NASCAR race car driver, being woke will pay you more than driving your race car. But Nick Cannon's in a whole different category than those guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I heard something about how Bubba Wallace, while NASCAR was doing their virtual racing, he actually lost his sponsorships, and then when it came back is when, like, the only one that could pick him up was the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Like, he lost everything. He was losing everything.
Yeah, exactly, because he's not a guy that really has money like that. He's moderately successful in his life. But Nick Cannon is in a whole different stratosphere. You're talking about a guy that's married to Mariah Carey. He's in a whole different level. He's in the 100 millionaire club, but Bubba Wallace might make 100,000, whole different category. So you think he's just being woke just to be woke? Yes.
Like
yes. He's just doing that because he wants to do it, because he's already rich. He doesn't really care. Now, if this was early in his career when he was not really there as far as being rich, then he might be woke to try and make that be his next move. You know, he wouldn't do it just for no reason, but now he has money. It doesn't even really matter. He can just not work and still be fine for the rest of his life. He's rich.
So do you think that, like, the comments and, like, the ideology or his beliefs that he has now there is some sort of, like, racism to it, especially with, like, how Professor Griff is, you know, with the Hebrew Israelites and everything like that, and the what's it called, the Nation of Islam stuff?
Well, of course it is, but he doesn't see it that way. He's just kind of buying into it. He believes in it. But yes, it is racist, of course. But he doesn't really care about that. He just wants to do it because that's pretty much where he's at, man. But hey, I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah, I got one more quick thing about these.
I have no more time. I'm sorry. Thank you for your call.
All right, no problem. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. And thank y'all for being here. If you could not get on, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Blame the white man for Skype not letting you get on. But I got super chats, and then I got to wrap it on up, put a bow on top. So don't go nowhere for a minute. Get something to drink. I got about 15 more minutes reading super chats, and then I wrap it on up. I'll be back live again tomorrow on Brandon Tatum's channel. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll be live again here Saturday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be doing all kind of things all throughout the week on my social media. I'll be putting about 10, 15-minute videos here twice a day, all the time. And if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now. And when you do subscribe, click that bell so you get notified whenever I go live and/or post a new video. All right. So I thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best audience on the internet. All right. So let's get to the first super chat here. Let me see. Shout out to, let me go back to where I'm at. That gets Ralph the Third, who says, get him to 1 million subscribers. He and Officer Tatum. Let me see. Do awesome shows. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. He also says Jericho Green has a channel and he rocks out 1,000%. Thank you to Ralph the Third, who also says Hodge twins or conservative twins rock out also. They definitely are here. Offer adults 1,000 all day. Shout out to the Hodge twins. Shout out to my brother Brandon Tatum, and shout out to Jericho Green. We got to get Hodge twins on the live show with Tatum, myself, and Derek Gradanego for sure. Thank you to Mandatory Carry, who says all of this started in November. Hashtag keep fighting. Exactly. Thank you for that. Thank you to Ralph the Third, who says I'm definitely an ABL and Officer Tatum supporter, though. Thank you to the Polima Gate, hopefully I said that right, who says being against abortion but okay with the legality of it is like saying I would never own a slave, nor should anyone, but slavery should be legal. I mean, I'm with you. I understand. I'm with you 1,000%. Thank you for that. Thank you to Leslie Forrest, who says thank you for speaking the truth. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to P. Bro, who says thank you for what you do, ABL and Apollo Man. Thank you for your support. Thank you to This Week in Civil War History, who says Rabble Rouser, good song. It's on Forrest Gump soundtrack. I'm old. Thank you to, let me go back to where I was. Skipping way ahead. Let me see. Thank you to, okay. And if you've not liked the video, go ahead and like the video for me. Hit the thumbs up on the video, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for sure. And Thank you to Rafa Third, who says, do you get to talk about two black communities to give them a different perspective? I mean, whenever I can, whenever I can, I talk to anybody that will listen. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, when will you debate Ivan the Great and Mighty? I mean, we do that every night. I feel like every time we call in, we have a debate. Well, it's never really a debate. It's always kind of like one-sided because I always dominate the conversation because he can't get a word in. He'll try to overtalk me, but it don't really work. Thank you to Hiker 867, who says, thank you for being a beautiful human. Thank you for that. Thank you to Steve Cutts, who says, Abraham ABL, great for you here. Shout out to Mary Beth Fleury, who says, how many times do you think Fauci would have been fired if he made so many crap decisions in private sector medicine? A lot. I'm thinking a lot. Exactly. 1000%. I mean, if you like totally dead wrong all the time, you're not going to keep your job. That's just not really how that works. Thank you to Dylan Hurst, who says, get at Modern Renaissance Man on B. Tatum and y'all's panel. I'll look him up. I'm not sure who that is, but I'll look him up and see what's going on with him for sure. Thank you to Interracial Patriots, who said, thank you, ABL. That shout out was awesome. Hey, I thank y'all for your support. I definitely appreciate you. And you guys, if you've not checked out Interracial Patriots on YouTube, go ahead and do so right now. They got a new channel. They getting rocking and rolling. Go check them out. Interracial Patriots. Check them out. Thank you to This Week in Civil War History, who says, what do you think about Coleon Noir? I like his content. I like the gun stuff. I'm a big fan of Coleon Noir. Shout out to him. Thank you to Rob III, who says, never a blue Louisiana. I promise that. Go Tigers. Thank you to Robin Constantinopoulos. I said that right, didn't I? Who says, Anthony, you need to do a call dedicated to the chaos in Canada. I might have to, because I hear that things are crazy up there. There's like no conservatives in power at all. No politicians that are conservative. I need to do that. Thank you to Mike Fahey for becoming an ABL superstar. Thank you to This Week of Civil War History, who says, what do you think about the Westenbergs getting charged? I've not heard about this case at all. Shout out to Ralph, who says, the only reason we have John Bell Dumbo is because we split the Republican ticket. Thank you to the Week of Civil War History, who said, reparations for Union soldiers' families. It won't go that far. It'll just go to black people and that's it. And then that'll be a battle over who's black, who's not, all this, that. You have, like you got $2 Indians, you got $2 black folks too. Let me see. Shout out to Jean Carlos de Leon, who says, what do you think about the guy kneeling on a 2-year-old's neck? His name is Isaiah Jackson. He should get locked up. I'm talking about Gitmo, Big Rocks, Little Rocks, ASAP, because that was disgusting. Shout out to Greg C, who says, keep it up. Thank you to Candace W for the donation. Thank you to George Bunny, who says, hi, ABL. In your opinion, what is Antifa's end goal in Portland? Keep smiling. Now, in Portland, they just want general chaos. They're just anarchists. That's all that it is with that. It ain't really nothing else to it. All right. Shout out to Civil War History, who says, this sounds horrible, but remember those commercials from the 90s about Somalia that said 50,000 people die a day with their 50-cent donation. You can save them 50,000 a day. Well, 2-year problem solved. Thank you to Mara Blonde, who says, new merch idea, have merch with the logo ABLM on it, standing for Anthony Brown, Logan Matters. Thank you to Candace W for the thumbs up. Thank you to Civil War History, who says, I often wonder if BLM marched down my street and I stepped out in my Yankee uniform with my 1861 Springfield and bayonet, would they make fun of me? They might try to call the police on you, although they're in favor of defunding the police. It's kind of weird. Thank you to Hiker 867, who says, do you ever call into radical live chats? I would love to hear you shut them down. I've tried before, but I never get through. I'm going to try to do it another time and just call in and pull up. Like, matter of fact, that's how the whole Destiny thing happened. I just happened to be, matter of fact, he did a video reaction to one of my videos. And I just pulled up on him, pulled up in the chat, and that's how that happened. Thank you to From Left to Right USA, who says, thanks for standing up and speaking up. You're one of the people that have inspired me to start a YouTube channel. Keep up the great content and info. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to JDWJC11, who says, is being anti-kneeling for anthem worth fighting? I'm not sure what you mean. If you want to stand up for your rights, stand up for what you believe in, then sure, why not? Thank you to Faith Sperry, who says, ABL, thanks for your dedication and hard work. Mr. Reagan did a video mention Yuri Bezmenov and Marxist indoctrination of younger generations' thoughts. I mean, he's right on point with that. I put the video from Yuri Bezmenov on my Instagram page. And if you guys don't know, go to Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. That is ANTHONY. The letter B, don't hear about this, LOGN.com. I mean, .com. Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. But anyway, I put it on there on the Instagram because he broke down all of what's going on with today, with modern society, and how the demoralization happens, how Marxism comes in, communism comes in. He also broke down how the lead Marxists and communists will be disposed of after the objective is met. All these BLM foot soldiers will be discarded of. They think they're out here being freedom fighters, revolutionaries, and whatnot, but all they're doing is just being lackeys of those that are at the top, those that are just pulling the strings, those that are just, being Geppetto. Thank you to Sean Gomez, who says, once Trump wins in 2020, will the left get worse? I think they'll actually calm down. It was similar to what happened in 2016, 2017, because after it's done, then it's like, okay, the budgets for the BLM protests and riots dry up. Everybody goes home. They fail. It'll calm down after that, in my humble opinion. Thank you to New Wave Bossa Nova, who says, did you see the reporters this morning and how they attacked the police officer in Florida? What is your stance on the verdict that they're asking for? I've not seen that. I need to look into it. If you guys have that, send me an email to contact@anthonyblogan.com. Oh, it's all good, Civil War history. No offense at all. It's all love. Don't even worry about it. Thank you to Civil War history. They're speaking about him, who says, most men spend money on adult websites online behind their wives' backs. For me, I spend my money on super chats. It's my adult website. Wow. Thank you to Hiker AZ67, who says, masks lower your immune system. The virus, any virus, will still be there until you get it and beat it. Stressing your body out, breathing your own damp air is not preparing your body to fight any viruses. Think, people. Exactly. 100%. Even if you block the virus from spreading, theoretically, you're damaging your own body by doing it. And is it worth it? I think not. Thank you to Civil War history, who says, you have two flags behind you. Most people say take down the Confederate flag, but there was more than one. They don't even know. Thank you to William the Rooster, who says, ABL 2024. Thank you to Raymond Stanley, who says, I'm new to you. I love your format. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Coleman Rose, who says, you're definitely one of the best conservative commentators I've ever seen. Much love to you, ABL. More donations and love coming your way, bro. I appreciate you for that, man. Thank you. Thank you to Liza Jean, who says, who is this caller? Does he have a site? Probably speaking about my man Tariq. Hey, Tariq is on Facebook. If you're in a chat, Tariq, drop your Facebook link or drop your Facebook name. But he's on Facebook. You can find him. Thank you to George Bunny, who says, hi, ABL. Did you finish Last of Us 2? Did you like the game? I'm close to finishing, but I put it down for, what am I playing? I'm playing, not Sekiro, the other game, the Japanese, Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima. I'm playing that. I put Last of Us down. It was cool, but it just, Last of Us just kind of dragged on a little bit too much. It should have condensed it and made it a shorter game. I just don't have a lot of time to even be playing games, so I don't have that much time to spend. Shout out to Raymond Stanley, who says, does my amount ring a bell? I guess it was 230. I don't really know. Shout out to Shield Labs, who says, I just began reading The Politics of Obedience, the Discourse of Voluntary Servitude by Etienne de la Boétie. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Written in 1552 about the willful obedience of citizens of oppressive laws, relevant today. Wow. I need to get that for myself and read it. Thank you for that. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, AB, I'm sure you heard about Tucker Carlson's address getting put in the New York Slimes. Can you believe it? I remember he had to deal with that doxing about this time last year. Yeah, it's crazy. And, I've talked to, the sergeants and the chief and everybody about the whole situation just to make sure we good. But, that's what they do. They try to attack people by that kind of stuff. It did the same thing to him before, because he was living in D.C., did it to him before, and they came to his house and attacked and were like threatening his wife and vandalized his house. Shout out to Good Bad, who says, Trump is the man. ABL, you the man. Trump 2020. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, everyone, let's help our man ABL reach a million subscribers on his birthday in 2 months from today. Yeah, you're right about that. I'll be 36 on September 22nd. So, yeah, 1 million by then would be a great gift. Shout out to This Week in Civil War History, who says Sherman wanted 2 acres in the Mule. Andrew Jackson took it away. Johnson was a Democrat. There you go. Thank you to Hank McCoy, who says 3 words: reopen the economy. There you go. Shout out to Ryan Kuhn, who says, do you think the issues going on now in the U.S. are a race issue or a culture issue? What's happening right now is politics. And it's not about race. You know, they talk about Black Lives Matter, but it's not about black people at all. You'll see a BLM protest with all white people. It's not even about black people. They're just using black people as a weapon. What it's about right now is politics, in my humble opinion. It's about F Trump, F12. It's about trying to push forward certain political motives, defunding the police, trying to get Trump out of office. Is all it is. And it'll die down after the election is over with. Thank you to Flap Jackson for the super chat emoji. Thank you to Bentley Baby, who says, the last caller, a super woke, real Kool-Aid drinker. Oh, man, that was funny. I didn't say it. They did. Thank you to Squished 300 ZTT, who says, let's all wear condoms for 2 weeks and get rid of STDs. Hilarious. Thank you to Ansel, who says, new ABL merch mug. I'm talking, Ivan. Thank you to Civil War History, who says, gonna answer your super chats before you sign off. You know that's how I do all the time. Thank you to Coleman Rose, who says, it's so sad that our politicians are at a level to where they're going to destroy America because they don't like Trump. Exactly. They'll destroy themselves over Trump. They do what they call that, the harikari, all that kind of stuff, because they don't like Trump. Thank you to my man Sushi, who says, murder rate of 57% in Chicago, mayor, orange man bad. Exactly. You don't want to deal with the actual problem. You want to deal with some political things that are going on. That's why I say it's not even about anything other than politics at this point. Thank you to Mr. Sir, who says, hey, ABL, God bless you again, my brother. Much love from Oakland, California. I was wondering if you heard about the Oakland mayor's house getting vandalized by peaceful protesters. Good show as always. I did not hear about that, but not surprising at all. Thank you to Divine Feminine Queen for the donation. Thank you to Civil War History, who says, hope you're not offended. He also says, how do you feel about the old saying, those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it? That's right on point. 1,000% on point. We're seeing that happen right now. Things that are going on right now today have already happened in prior history. And people don't know their history. That's why they're doing it over again. They don't know about what Nazis are actually doing. They say Nazi, but don't even know what a Nazi is. Thank you to American Spartan, who says, love your channel, ABL, dare I say, more than B. Tatum. Love both of you guys. Keep up the good work. Trump 2020. Thank you for that. And shout out to my brother, Brandon Tatum. That's a good segue. I will be live on his channel tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Officer Tatum's channel. We do that show every Thursday, unless he's busy or something like that, doing something, or I'm busy, or Derek's busy, or whoever. We're going to be doing that show every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that's all I got. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are the best audience on the internet. Shout out to all the moderators. We got Killer Sushi. We got Zedach's Cane Sword, the newest mob on the squad, Rapper 10,000, Eliza Jean, Kim Bone, Zealand Zen, my man Marcus, I see you. I say Ansel, Michelle A, Bill from the Hills, Shreeds, Protocol, all you guys. Thank you for doing what you do. You guys are fantastic. The best audience ever. And again, if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting on. This is a good channel, good community, good people. Go ahead and subscribe right now. It's free. And when you subscribe, click the bell as well. If you click the bell, you should get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. All right, that'll be a wrap. Oh, MK, if you want a Sir mug, they are available on ablmerch.com. Again, ablmerch.com. You can get mugs, you can get hats, you can get t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, all that good stuff. And if you want these flags, they're available through the link in the box that says BHE Designs. Check them out. Tell them I sent you. And I think that's pretty much all I got. So, yeah, that'll wrap it up right there. And shout out to Coleman Rose, who says, happy early birthday. Much love from the Rose family. I totally agree. They want to kill the America. We do a whole hour of your videos every night. You are important for historical and cultural history. Thank you for that. Very good way to wrap it on up. Put a bow on the top. So I'll see y'all guys next time. And until then, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.